Yeah. Well, your woman told you beg or water you buy you told I know that you're moving when they come later. I'm really long shit.
The way I was really told you without equal,
But you're
going to anonymous state.
You're where?
Oh, Maleka to anonymous state.
That's been a good year. Because me, I said so, man. And my cousin in America, he had her Doma festival. So she said, when they put a corona for the festival, when they go there, they must carry things, you know, for the children then. So I was saying to myself, oh, my boss, then I want to remember the watch that now you know one day.
And they say you must carry anti soda water I can afford. That's why I carry the water that lasts.
You know what I mean? We on the roof. You can pack anything and know more than you. You put your thing there. Let me explain to you. The woman called me. I was saying, the woman that one will explain to you. The woman called me. The woman explained to me already. Dating your thought that Markan will be having. They get someone trying to call the hard table festival, Doma festival. The hard table Doma festival. They can have it every year in Myean, America. They can have it every year. So she said she's having it in America. All the people that will be going there, because the other festival is special. They will be celebrating the same year. Because I say 5 years now, they celebrate. So the year back, they want to celebrate it. So everybody that will be going there to that Doma festival. They're talking about people that we in America. They're talking about you all are here in abroad. But if I get a visa to go to America. So they go there who in America. They go to America. They don't want to carry all those small things to give it to her. They give it to her for her to use it because she's going to come to Liberia to have the same program here. Now when she's having it here now, all the children that go in fact, all the children will be people. So when you get in the coffee book, you carry Torgbean, you carry children clothes, children shoes, you know, small more thing than what children can use. You carry that, you will pack everything and bring it like bro. She share it on the children then. And you share it free. She will share it free. No, she will share it free. She said no. She had it all for carry to her free. That she will go, she will carry like bro. She do all the things. She share it free on the children like bro. She won't help children. She also say you must pack your thing and go carry it. You must carry it.
When I do the participation too.
I know.
So other that we buy in anonymous state they will be doing it.
The thing it will be happening in Maryland, in America. So Black Hill Regional Park. That will be happening here. You know, way back when you get and they call the country code. But the American people, they just change the name now. And you know, yeah. So that one they can call it hard table festival. Yeah.
So what you want to do?
Yeah. So my people that are there, you're here in America, you're listening to it good. Yeah. Now, what is it? The date is August 9. Having the hard table festival. Yeah, August 9. Right after my birthday. Yeah. Markan will be having her Doma festival. And in that Doma festival, and then everybody that going there, you're pretty everything to donate to what so that you can come and donate to the children of Liberia. Big yo. But they can't in Liberia. Now we're to share things, they will call the children in the boat to go for boat ride. Small children they put in, they will take boat ride. They've been doing boat ride, they share the thing on there, that the children will enjoy. I praise them for me to tell small again.
Yeah, this is the 5-year Doma festival. So we encourage you to keep.
So that so that go back home now. You carry that thing back home.
It's good day. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. to all fathers around the world, wherever you are. It's good to be on the closing argument on a Father's Day. I'm sure all the fathers are so happy, enjoying this day, special day that's set aside for fathers around the world. And I'm too happy. My daughters just took me out for Father's Day lunch. So we're having some nice time. But tonight will be a great day. We're looking forward to have a great interaction. So let's, wherever you're celebrating fathers, today I pay a present tribute to my late father, Reuben George, who I lost many years ago. On November 12th, he left us. It's almost 16 years since he left us. And good to be with him. But it's good, you know. Father's Day is a special day for many of us. I may recognize some people. I see the Morris A.M. Jabate watching from a CMC corner in Monrovia. Thank you, Morris Jabate. Thank you. Eugenian GW, thank you. Happy Father's Day. Thank you. Patrick Kennedy, happy Father's Day. That's my cousin in Australia. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day too. I see my boy Myean. Myean is with me here. Thank you, Lofa. Thank you, Lofa. Lofa Julius, thank you so much. Thank you so much, brother. I saw your son's speech. I thought it was a powerful one. World Father's Day. I know Lofa and all you guys are busy, so if anyone guys want to join me, they can let me know, because I know everybody's Father's Day, so I don't want to take anybody from the Father's Day celebration. But tonight we have the former deputy Director General for General Operation of the Liberian Drug Enforcement Agency, Hassan Fadiga. And it should be an interesting show tonight. So we here to just spend the day together. Let's ask the questions, let's interact, and make sure that all is well. Let me first of all extend again our thoughts and prayers with our friends in Minnesota, in Brooklyn Park, to be specific. Yesterday, early morning hours of yesterday, a guy dressed up in police gear went to the homes of the former Speaker of the Minnesota State Legislature and opened fire on she and her husband, killing two of them, and went to another's home and shot another state legislature, two, but they didn't die. The other lady, she had to come on she got on top of her daughter to save her daughter, and that's how she got a lot of shot gun wound. But they're in the greatest country, so they did some operation, and I think they are going to survive. But it's still sketchy yet, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, but we'll see what's going to happen. But Myean, before I bring the guests in, Myean, what's happening in Liberia first? What's happening? What's the latest in Liberia? I know today is Sunday. What's happening there?
Yeah, how you doing, Mr. George? How you doing, everyone who are watching the show? So, today is Father's Day in Liberia, so much like news worth is not really happening, except we see tomorrow. How's tomorrow going to be like? So for today, people are just celebrating their Father's Days all over. So nothing much going on, and we hope to see how tomorrow is going to be like. But the whole entire city is cool. With the atmosphere, the weather is also good. Today we saw sun all over, most especially from Pinsville. The weather was okay. So I don't know for others who were out in the rural part. I don't know for them. For us in Pinsville, our weather was good and the atmosphere, everything was okay.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. Happy Father's Day to the President of the Republic. He's the father of the nation, His Excellency Ambassador President Joseph Boakai. Happy Father's Day to the former President, President George Myean. Happy Father's Day to the former to the Vice President Kuhn, and happy Father's Day to all the political leaders in the country, Mr. Alexander B. Cummings, Mr. Wilfred Ure, Kehleboe Gongloe. Happy Father's Day to all these great men, Musa Hassan Bedete of the CMC, also Ambassador Maxwell D. Kamea of Move, yes. Happy Father's Day to all these great statesmen. I will pray that God continue to guide you guys, and as you guys try to navigate the political system in our country. Ruth Roberts Pengba, happy Father's Day. Yeah, you may not want to happy Father's Day. Let's stop it. But let us bring the guests in and let us get this thing started. Welcome to the closing argument, my dear brother Hassan Fadika. We're just talking about you just now, Hassan. My niece and myself are talking about you. You know, it's a small world. She was telling me, she said, Tomalin, you know the Fadika brothers, they were living on the campus in Dusa. The father was a French teacher. I said, but then cousin, I'm picking now because I knew that time good because then you're my nephew, Hector, yeah. You're a crowd of guys, yeah. My niece was telling me, Buddy was telling me just now. Campus there. Said,
Bari, Titi, we're classmates.
You know who?
Bari.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Bari
too.
Yeah. Oh, okay, small world, small world. But my man, Mr. Fadika, how's everything, man? How's life for you? How's the family? Happy Father's Day. And how's life for you, man?
Happy Father's Day, my brother. I'm glad that you were able to persuade me to come and do the interview. Life is not bad. Every day we take it one step at a time. I bless God to be alive in good health, and that's all we can give glory to.
Hey, Lofa said they have Dusa in Senegal, Guinea. Got crazy. But Mr. Fadika, Hassan, is that your daughter, your son or daughter graduated, right?
My daughter, she graduated. She turned 18 on the 20th. This month, she's going to be 18 years old. So got like 18
I was shocked. I never knew you had a big daughter like that. On the
I've been busy for a long time, man.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, so she...
How many kids you got?
I got 3 currently, 2 girls.
3.
The last is around 8, and then a boy.
Oh, you got a boy? You got two
yeah,
boys.
he's 16. He's 16, the big guy.
Oh, the one in the guy, what's his name?
Yeah, that guy. He's 16, and then the girl.
Wow, okay. My daughter turned 18 in July 23rd. Yeah, okay.
Mine on the 20th, so she's looking forward to going to Europe next week.
Really?
Yeah, for university tour, and then for 11 days, and then she'll be back in the US.
Well, that's good, man. I'm happy that your family is doing well and everybody's doing well. So you back in the States now, or you going to go back to Liberia?
No, the graduation. I came for a graduation. She couldn't wait. In fact, she started having nightmare that I was not going to come. Last minute of time, I mean, it was crazy. I had to come to buy my ticket and come. I couldn't miss a graduation for anything.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I came for my daughter's graduation. I've been out of Liberia for more than a year. Our age right now, all we have to come and do that your annual physical.
Yes.
Yeah, work on yourself before you go back. But I will definitely be going back, returning to Liberia. I got a couple of tests still remaining to complete, and then I will definitely be in Liberia.
Well, let's get started. If I was just want to ask you first, your journey at the Liberian Drug Enforcement Agency, how did it start? I want to give you the time. How did it start?
So my journey during the election, as you're aware, my brother and I, we supported President Boakai. We're very active in the campaign. He visited, the U.S. with him a couple of times. And a lot of people don't know this, but even the last day before he left from here to go back for the campaign, I went and I was the one that bought his suitcase. They sent me to buy his stuff. So, I mean, we're around the Papi, you know, the old man, and we were very supportive. So my journey started with supporting the old man, campaigning for him, supporting whatever way behind the scene we could possible to ensure that he wins the election. And then from there, after the election, there were other people we started having conversation about whether you want to go and serve to go and serve in Liberia. So me and AB Kroma, we always used to talk and chat. He said, "My man, you got any document, anything you want to say about law enforcement or something? Send it to me, me see it." So I always had the inclination that I was going to go back to serve in Liberia. I've come here, I've worked, I've reached to the highest level in my career, and I was always passionate about going to serve. So sometimes I would sit in my office while I was here, and I wrote an anti-crime strategy for the Liberian National Police. I would just write stuff, take my time and write stuff, do research and write stuff. So we're discussing about it, and then he said, "Well, me, you got some documents, send it to me." So I sent the anti-crime strategy. When you read it, he said, "My man, you wrote something good." So we started to talk. Initially, I wanted to go to throw my hat in a race for the police director position. But he told me, "Oh, I want to go for the police director," and he's a big brother, so I couldn't. I didn't. It was not like ain't no competition. I didn't want for it to be that competition. So there was a mutual, agreement that if we're going to the police, he would tap me, and then we go to the police together. So I didn't need to also compete for that position, especially the higher up position when he was competing for that position. So there was a mutual understanding. Initially, we were very sure that we're going to the police. So that's how we started to communicate. Sometimes you want document, you ask me, "Hey, I'm looking for someone to document. I want something. What do you think about this thing?" And then I will gain your advice on some of the things. And most of the time, when some of the advices that I gained, they were always accurate. So we started to have that communication. And then during the election, obviously, he asked where Fatima. We talk, like strategize, call each other, just the regular campaign team. We talk, and that's how the journey started. So when I went to Liberia, we were kind of sure of going down there. When I found out later on that he was not going to the police, we decided to go for the DA. So when they offered him that position at the DA, he was a little bit apprehensive. I went to his house, we talked, and then I wrote another document for the strategy for the police, for the LDA, and I showed him it, and I told him, even though when you are not tapped at the DA, I wanted to go for the Director General position at the LDA. But if you want to go, since the tap you for that position, go. I won't say on it, but I think it's a good thing. We can do a lot with the DA, and this is how we're going to get funding and how we're going to do it. So when he saw it, then he gave some parable in Manigo, something I couldn't forget about the frog. He said, talk about the frog, how they suppressed the frog, and as soon as the frog got in the water, the frog started to run. So he gave some parable like that about the Maningo parable, and we laugh about it. And eventually he accepted that he was going to go for the police. So we came up with that, agreement that he goes. He asked me, "So where you want to go?" I said, "Well, if you're going for the DG, I'll go for Director for Operation." And that's how we, decided on how we were going to go. And everything was fine from the beginning. He's a friend, big brother. We go all hang out together. We had our spot that we used to go. The relationship were cordial, mutual respect, and everything went fine. That's how I found myself at the DA. So when they were looking for the Director for Operation and other things, I put my name in, and then he spoke highly about me too when they were trying to tap people, and then that's how I got the position. But talk to me, I've been an advocate for a long time. My background in law enforcement is well documented. So, and then I was also part of the campaign. So there was no way I was going to be left out. So I know there's been some rumors that somebody tapping for the position and they were instrumental. Either way, I was still going to be appointed because of the role I play during the campaign.
Well, okay. My understanding is that I was told that you were nowhere in the picture. AB was either the police or a drug enforcement agency, and because of your friendship with Fatima, you were recommended that I think it said that you asked her to assist you to connect her with AB to go to be his deputy because AB was involved in the campaign and so forth. He was on the ground, and the president knew him well, and they already planned this thing. Either he or Gregory, one of them, would go to police or drug enforcement. I think AB first choice was police, but then Fatima put some word in for you and told AB to he should try you and take you, and that's how come you were able to join AB at the president. AB recommended to the president to appoint you. So it wasn't like they say the president decided to appoint you. It was through AB's recommendation that you should serve as his deputy. You and Kawo, right? What is his guy name?
Now, it was good you brought this up. Let me clear the rumor. Okay. I've known AB during the Salif administration before even knowing that he had some relationship with Fatima. So Fatima was never instrumental in me acquiring that position at the DEA. I mean, you've been on social media forever. You know our work. You have seen it. We were campaigning. We campaigned. My brother was on Spoon, and I used to have my podcast. And behind the scene, we were very active on social media, campaigning and speaking on behalf of Joseph Boyka. So I knew President Boyka even before he became president during the Seri administration when he came here. So the notion that we're nobody and unknown group of people that someone tap is erroneous. However, I will say that AB also play a part. But as far as being appointed, hold on, somebody. As far as being appointed, I have my own connection, and he was just the icing on the cake. This is how it works. So if you are appointed as the Director General or IG, most times they will ask you whether you're comfortable working with a certain group of people. It's not like you're going to decide on who's going to be appointed, but it's just one for you to have a cordial working relationship. So sometimes, out of respect, they will ask. And because we already had that agreement, and I told him I was not going for that position, as long as you were going for that position, I was not going to stay in the way. So it was already plain. So all he did was to say, yeah, this is the guy I want to work with. But as far as Fatima is concerned, he was nowhere around. We're just having a normal conversation, campaign conversation. We're talking. He said, AB, that your brother, and he going, I think it would be good for you guys to work together and something along those lines. That's the only role he played in. AB, I think, Fadiga, it will be a good fit. Two manigo man, he's smart. Y'all go down and y'all will do well. And, in those conversations. But to say that she was influential or instrumental in me getting a position is erroneous. That's far from the truth.
Okay, so you arrive at the LDA. The President Boyka nominated you guys, appointed you guys, got through the process, and you got an LDA. Now, AB, one of his principal deputy. So I know initially I saw you doing some raid and so forth, and then I also saw AB involved in some raid too. So when you guys got there, I'm sure you guys met. The three of you met. Say, okay, you and Bawe and AB met. Okay, that's how we're going to do the operation. That's how we're going to run this place. Okay, I'm sure you guys had this conversation. So after that, what happened? I mean, you guys got in the field, and so what happened from there? How you guys started going?
Well, you see, power corrupts. Absolute power is even worse. when we got there, like I said, we had a cordial relationship. We used to hang out together, go to places. We had some other areas. So things were fun. But sometimes I can't really tell why really went wrong. But some people, in my opinion, power is not good for them. They can get carried away, and I think it get worse for some people. So everything was fine. I don't know whether he felt intimidated. I really cannot go into his mind to tell you what went wrong, but I can tell you how it happened. When it all started with I am the arrowhead, I'm the head nigga in charge. Everything around here revolves around me. We have stakeholder meeting. You will say, oh my man, for example, the UNDP, they want for all the real need assessment. My man, can we do something quick? Can you put something quick together? And I will write the need assessment for the UNDP. I will give it to him and say, oh chief, yep, this the document you asked for. Dara Kuma, AB Kuma will take the document and carry it and go. He will go alone to those meetings. And when he goes to those meetings, you know, when you are not the author, the original author of certain document or certain idea, you do not, it becomes difficult sometimes for you to articulate it the way that it's supposed to be articulated. And most of the time we're not getting results. I think there was one time even the legislature asked, why are you always coming alone? You're not bringing your principal deputy. He what the 90-day deliverables, as Bauko, I put it together, I wrote it. So he was sort of going and deliver it, and he went alone. But for me, it was for the collective good of the organization. So I was not thinking about taking glory for it. But it's just that when we were doing it, we as a team, it make us look bad when you're not delivering as promised, especially the 90-day delivery. When he went there, he did his thing. And so when we started having problems one time, he just put us abrupt stop to all the raid. He said, nobody raid. Absolutely nobody raid. Before you raid, come back to me. And when you look, everybody start raiding. All the agents were sitting and waiting. So I said, Darda, why are we not raiding? He said, oh, I got plan. He was not communicating his agenda to us. And later on, we found out why it was happening. Why he was not communicating his agenda to me. So when it all started and was getting complicated, I think the first time it happened, we had an argument. I think the president convened a meeting. So I went to Greg. I went to Greg's office, the police director. I went to Greg. I sat with Greg. At that time, Greg and the deputy director for operations, Nelson Fremont, they were in the office. I sat there. I said, I came to see you. So we're talking. I said, my man, I'm working with my man, AB. But his relationship, especially with respect to the job, is very complicated. How can I work with a guy? You guys have been working with him for long. How can I cannot work with a guy for us to succeed in our role? And when I said that, Greg, you know, that non-verbal girl turn his face to nursing, and nursing turn his face like that non-verbal way of saying, damn, they may not figure all this thing just they quick. And, you know, they didn't say nothing, and they were very measured in what they could tell me. They didn't want to go in detail, but their faces told me everything that I needed to know. And then they laughed, said, "Mama, just take it easy." And but they couldn't give me anything. I went to Momo Saros. I went to Senator Sekwe Bocha, and then I went to Senator Sarah. I sat them down. I told them, because he's the chairman on security, Momo Sarah, Senator Sarah. I went to him. I sat him down, and I explained the situation at the DEA. The reason I was doing it, not to honor my friend, not to honor my former friend or my boss, but for us to be able to find common ground, to work together, for us to be able to work together. So I did make every effort for us to be able to work together to succeed in fighting job crime. And from there, I went to Senator Sekwe. He also contacted Senator Sarah. We spoke. I went to Senator Dillon, and I spoke with him. Anybody that I could talk with to help me work together, if you are not just listening. Things got out of hand when we started receiving intel. As Deputy Director General for Operation, I'm in charge of manpower. So the intelligence under me, the ADS, the SDS under me, manpower, the entire manpower. So pretty much the entire organization, operation wing is falls on me. So during my time at the DEA, I was able to build rapport with our international partner. What helped me the most too was my prior law enforcement experience in the US. So I'll give you one example. One of our international partners from the European Union, he called me. We spoke. He said, Josh. And then he slipped some intel to me. I looked at the picture and he told me, do not share this picture with your Director General. I do not trust him, and we're getting a lot of information about him. He's trying to take the balance of power with the drug cartel, and I was like, what is this guy saying? So I took the intel, I went and sent some of my agents to investigate that intel. I found out that AB's part of security was providing security to this person, and this person is a major importer of cocaine into Liberia.
But before you went to these people, right, the Garguah, other people, why didn't you engage AB? Why didn't you confront him?
Look, anybody that know AB, he's a very complicated person to deal with. He's a very complicated. We did in several meetings, and in those meetings we have Tima Jarate. You can ask Tima. We have my brother were in some of those meetings. Bau, the deputy for administration, in those meetings, we did discuss. I did confront him on some of the things, the way he was proceeding. We did talk. In fact, there was one time I even went to one of our international partners and they gave me some intel. I went to AB and told him, I said, my man, this is what they told me. They said, as long as we are the helm of the DA, they're not going to support the DA. And we're now reporting drugs and they said some other things. So we have to do something right away or else it's going to jam us up. And he said, ready? Okay. Thank you. Let me contact Maraseri to see whether she can help me in the way. And so in good faith, I did reach out to AP. Going to other stakeholders was the last resort because we just couldn't get anything done. It was frustrating.
But then, because they have the chain of command, the Minister of Justice and Attorney General, he's the boss of all of these security agencies. So did you guys reach out to the Justice Minister too? Did you reach out to him?
Okay. The whole incident, especially with the junta, it started from the Justice Ministry. We filed an official complaint. But before reaching to that point, we tried to exhaust every backdoor channel to ensure that we work harmoniously, and it was just not working. And we did reach out to the Minister of Justice. But before reaching out to the Minister of Justice, several things happened. I'll give you one example. AB got a brother called Sensi Koma. He used to be with the EPS before. Sensi has a motorcycle group, about 20 dominant member of my travel group. There were 20 motorcycle groups. So they would go on raid. After he put the entire agency on stand down, he said, these are the people you want to work with. He came to me, I'm going to train them for me to be able to work with them, for them to make gain, because you don't trust the people at the DE. Based on my assessment, most of those guys they were not trained. They did not have prior law enforcement experience. Most of them they would go on drug raid. They would steal people things, enter people's house with all proper search and seizure code document. They would raid people. They would beat subject. They would take the drugs. They would now report it to the agency. but they will carry subject and drop them at different satellite station or what we call depot, different satellite station, and leave them there without giving any after action report. And there were a lot of complaints coming in from on the field with field agent, and he kept insisting. I said, okay, I can't work with this guy. They're not even employ the DA, and then number two, most of these guys they are poorly trained, so they will read the job and they will take it to AB house instead of taking it to the DA headquarters for proper infantry to be taken or stock of the job to be taken. And so when those things were going on, I frowned on it. And Tomalin, let me just piggyback a little bit. Everybody at my age right now, middle-aged man, everybody have different things that they're looking for in life. What I'm looking for is totally different. I'm not looking for riches. I want to be comfortable, but I'm looking for something different. In Liberia, Fadiga have been in Liberia for long. I'm the first generation Fadiga that have been appointed into government. For me, in my mind, that's precious. In my mind, that's gold. So I wanted to succeed in my role. I was not thinking about the other things around. So I was very active, overzealous, you could say, and I was knowledgeable of the job. So I knew exactly what to do, and I knew how to execute it well. So I was there to ensure that that job was done, and my legacy go. So it was two different things.
But you guys are having some problem. I think at one point in time, the Minister of State, I saw the National Security Advisor to the President, I saw Ambassador Grace Bay, I saw Kofi Woods, I saw Magdalena Cooper, a political advisor. They got involved, and you guys went there. You smoked the peace pipe. You came out with pictures, and you guys said that we reaffirmed that you worked together. But then again, the next thing we saw was almost exchange of gunfire. I mean, you almost saw that video where you guys were drawing gun at each other. I mean,
no gun was drawn at that time. But let me tell you about it. What transpired at that time. So
okay,
I got a call from one agent at the RIA that there were a package that came allegedly containing drugs.
Yeah.
And it was not properly screened. And the person told me that this had been happening for a long time. The commander that is there, and some other group of people at the RIA, they've been allowing these things to come in. And as you are aware, the RIA is a transit hub. A large quantity of dangerous drugs come through that place. So I proceeded to the airport. I informed the Director General, A.B. Croman, I was going to the airport to investigate. So when I got to the airport, the commander was not there. His deputy was not there. I told him to report to the headquarters because I was there, and the commander said he was in school. So I went to the RIA and I got a complaint that DA agents were being restricted from going to certain area within the airport. And I went and met with the deputy director for administration, I think Knuckles, the lady Knuckles from the airport management. And I told her, I said, my men are telling me that they are being restricted from performing the duty at the airport. And then I gave her the reason why it is extremely important that they grant off access to certain area in the airport. And then she immediately called the chief security at the airport, and she threatened that anybody restrict the DA, they will lose their job. And from there, I proceeded to the airport. When I got to the airport, I inquired about the situation. Nobody was ready giving me a clear answer. So I asked them, is there a CCTV footage? And they said yes. So I said, take me to the room. So when I went to the room, as soon as I got in the room, I was about to sit down with three of my men. There was a call came. I don't know from where. They said, "Oh, why you allow that guy in the CCTV room? You cannot show in the CCTV." I said, "What did you say?" I said, trust me, I'm going to see the CCTV. And then heavy argument came there, and then I was assertive, and then they allowed me to see the CCTV. So the CCTV showed that clearly the couple of boxes came to the airport. They were now screened, and the whole 9 yards, the thing that happened. So immediately when I discovered that, I put the commander, his deputy on stand down, and there's a girl that has been agent. I've been working there for many years. She's very smart, intelligent, and I told her to be acting. And then I called the director general. I told him that what happened at the airport, and it's one of the same kind of games that he played. He agreed. Oh, I mean, thank you and thank you. Not knowing the thank you is the opposite. The next day, the commander went to AB house. He met with AB. Allegedly, they said he took something to AB, according to some of the officers that were there. I don't know what it mean by that, but he spent the entire day there. And when you look, AB sent the commander back. It was the time he got on Spoon, and later on he found out he said he was not aware of that it was drug or it was something that came to the airport. So he
sent the guy back. Did he inform you about it? He was sending the guy back.
So he said, well, I got to take the guy out. It was not a regular procedure that I took a guy out. In fact, the guy should go back. So T-Mac said, AB, if we send this guy back, it will look like there's infighting. I think we need to wait. You can't send the guy back. AB insisted that he's the head nigga in charge. Just the word, quoting him directly. And I cannot take anybody out of the job without informing. And I did inform him. But given the gravity of the situation, I couldn't have the guy there. And there are other intels that I started getting about this guy. So I just couldn't have him in that position at that time, given what I saw on the CCTV. And he insisted that the guy go there, and he sent the guy back there.
Wow. So man, welcome, Kehleboe. Kehleboe, I mean, today, Father, most of our guys they having the family who want to get in, but Kehleboe taking time to come, so it's good to make it better. But let me say this before Kehleboe comes in. So now, I want to find out, because I know there were problems. We were seeing in the press. There were problems. As I said, that picture with Mandela, all of you guys with Kofi Woods and things.
No, so after that, we went to the office. In the staff meeting, the commander's meeting, we're sitting there, and AB told the commander that nobody should take order from me. In fact, the guy going there. In the meeting, mind you, I'm in charge of manpower, and he said it in the meeting. So I woke up and I walked out of the meeting when you were trying to talk down to me. I walked out of the meeting. While walking out, he said, he walking out again, and I went out and he started to talk down to me. And that's when we started to exchange. That when it got real heated, and probably somebody recorded it. When I was leaving, he started to say some things to me. He agitated me, and I came back, and then that's when we started to exchange word. And then,
so how Bawoko got involved in it?
Bawoko got involved in this. First, he said Bawoko, as Director General for Administration, could not sign for anything if he's not around. He said Bawoko can only sign for $50. And then he went up to $150, and he said anything before Bawoko signed for anything, Bawoko will let him know. Come on. Bawoko is the Deputy Director General for Administration. You cannot talk down to him and talk in the midst of other agents, and make those remarks. So Bawoko actually got involved when we filed the official complaint against AB at the Justice Ministry. And Tomalin, it took a lot for us to file that complaint. Being a director, Kuman supposed to go to Senegal for training, the job training, the regional training for the job. They call it something. So it goes some shark training. After I left from the French embassy, we spoke. They recommended I would go for the training. All of a sudden, they canceled AB ticket in his hotel.
Who canceled it?
The French government. Because they financed the trip for us to go to Senegal. So I was the only person that went for that training.
why did they cancel the Director General?
They did not give any reason. But later on, I spoke with the security attaché, the regional attaché, one Laurent, and he gave me some hint. They were very uncomfortable with AB, and I think they have spoken with the Americans too. They were very uncomfortable with him, and that's why they did that. Then I spoke with a representative from the UNODC. He told me, "This is your country. If you guys do not stop AB in the next 1 or 2 years, he's going to be one of the most powerful men in this country." I said, "But how can we do it?" So we have the French government putting out a statement. I mean, tell it in the back, and we didn't go. Only I alone went. We have the other group on the side, our strong ally, also in the back saying something. They were clear. The Americans were clear. They said as long as AB is at the helm of DEA, they are not going to support the DEA. And we did not receive any support. You know, this is how it works, right? We get most of our pay from the government, but for training and logistical support, we get it from the INL through the Department of State, and then it comes through the UNODC. They said they were not going to give us support, and we did not receive any support when AB was there. So when all of these things started to come on, people raiding drugs and carrying it to a house, our international partner from the European Union gave me intel of someone suspected or importing drugs and telling me not to share it, and then him not going. All of these things started to come on. I called Bawu. I said, "Bawu, we're talking to this guy, and he's being very stubborn. He's not listening. And I came here to make an impact in this country. I don't want to be jammed out when, shit hit the fence. So I think it is in our best interest for us to file an official complaint to go on record, because he's not listening. He's not listening to the senator. And this guy felt that he was untouchable, that nobody could do anything to him. He had the community, by his side. And I don't know, get somebody cast a spell on someone. He was not listening. He was totally unhinged. So I said we need to file an official complaint against this guy. That's when we wrote a complaint against him. And some of the things as listed in the complaint, there's a guy who got intel. There are some things you notice I'm very measured in my words, because there are some intel that came that is classified. And even though I'm not in government, but I'm not allowed to speak about it. So I'm very careful in the way I present a message, for me not to, spill out some things, because they came from this raw intel
but before I bring Kehleboe, I'm gonna ask the last question before I bring in. But now all these things happening, people, the French people telling you they cancel AB trip, and the US people telling you. Now the justice ministers, I think now you have brought him in. You have access to the national security advisor to the president. You have access to all these people around the president, minister of state, the chief of staff. Now, so they apparently they were not giving us support. Apparently they were doing it from what I'm hearing is like they were backing what he said AB was doing. They were either backing it, or they were in knowledge of what's happening. But because all these people around, I'm sure you were informed what they were telling you. But then, so what happened?
I don't know whether they were backing it. I'll give you an example. I hate to say it, but for the audience to understand. After the president convened a meeting between me and AB, the first time that thing happened with the airport incident, and Mandela Cooper, Dr. Conan, Councillor Woods, and somebody else again were in a meeting. The four officials, senior officials were in a meeting. We had a meeting with AB, and they were clear. They knew what was going on. They knew who was the problem, because they told me. And they told AB, go back and work with the guys. Now, Mandela told me, she was clear. She said, the documents, we know the truth. We're not going to send documents to the president. We hope all of you guys to work together. And I think they were doing it in good faith, but it was bad. Why am I saying this? Sometimes when there's a problem, it's good to address it professionally. Whosoever is culpable, let them be held accountable, and then it will serve as a deterrent moving forward. Every time you bury things under the rug, sweep things under the rug, and think that it will sort itself out, sometimes it tends to escalate. And I think it's what happened. She told me, she said, I got the report, but we're not giving it to the president. I've got it in my drawer. We hope if it happens again, then we'll take action. And they were clear. Even Senator Snow said the same thing to AB. He said, you are the problem. He said, if at all you come by here, we'll not be doing it friendship, we'll be convening a hearing. And everybody spoke. And so there were people hoped that, everybody was going to go, there was going to be mutual respect, we're going to do our work. But after 2 weeks, it was fine, and then it got worse. There's a guy who got an intel, the guy, major importer of drug dealer called Gongloe. This guy who got intel on his phone, different, multiple intelligence sources, very dangerous. I put out a team to go arrest the guy. EBC, I cannot arrest the guy. The guy is his confidential informant and the guy working with him. You remember there was a story about this. The one guy said the Sierra Leone president, brother or son.
Yeah.
It's called the young man, one Calon. Alvin Calon. He was arrested. The way Alvin Calon was arrested, it was funny. They had Alvin Calon. Then they had one other guy called Fode Calon too. Two different people with the same name, but they're not related. Fode Calon brought huge quantity of compressed kush from the border side, Sierra Leone border. He entered into Liberia with the drugs, and I'm the director for operation. I was totally not aware. It was AB operation. He had a man. He had everything. With men, he was doing things with all my acquiescence, with all my knowledge. So when Fode Calon brought a drug, Gongloe was supposed to pay Fode Calon $5,000 United States dollars for the drug he brought into him. So the next day, when he was going to bring the remaining drug, he was going to give him the money. So when Fode Calon brought the remaining drugs, arrested DEA agent arrested Fode Calon on the scene along with Gongloe. But Gongloe was there like a confidential informant, according to AB. Gongloe was not arrested. Gongloe was allowed to keep the drug, and the money was not to Gongloe. I don't know anything about the money. There was no money turned over. Gongloe didn't turn the money, but Gongloe was allowed to keep the drug. Now, in a controlled buy situation, the confidential informant do not keep the drugs. You do not keep it. How come the drug was not turned over to the attorney? But Fode Calon was turned over to the DEA for investigation. And when Fode Calon came, I interviewed Fode Calon. Fode Calon said, yes, I did bring the drug, and he explained the story. So I asked the Director General, I said, but why is this guy? This guy ought to be arrested because the guy been on our radar. He on the list, the top list, or on the intel list. He said, no, the man cannot be arrested. This guy, AB said he will not be arrested. In fact, AB said, I cannot go on raid. I cannot raid the guy. And then I said, I will raid the guy. He's a drug dealer. He introduced person into the community. The car wash. You were controlling that car wash, that notorious car wash. You were controlling that car wash before he got raided. And then he went to Zimbabwe, the Zimbabwe ghetto. So I said the guy should be raided. Now, the good thing about the Fode Calon incident, Fode Calon should still be in South Beach. So when I interviewed Fode Calon, the drug was not turned over to LDA. Only a few quantity of drug were turned over the one he brought. But the first one that he brought on the day that he supposed to get the money, that's the one that was turned over. The first one was not turned over. So Fode Calon was charged and forwarded to the court, and then he probably currently in South Beach. And the drug were not turned over to LDA.
Wow.
As money concerned.
Let me bring Kehleboe in. But from what I've seen and heard so far, apparently that I will say this on the record. This government that you support, apparently they are not really serious of fighting drugs, because if they were serious, based on all the information you received, and you briefed them about everything they told you, the French people told you, the Americans told you, they canceled on AB ticket not to go to the Senegalese conference, everything. With all the justice minister, you inform all these people what was going on, and apparently somebody in the government, this government, I believe that. I mean, I know you are a strong advocate. You would have come up, and I don't know why it's taking you so long to come up and tell them that they're not serious of fighting drugs. Because if they were serious, honestly, from what I'm hearing from you, I think they would have. Because you have some evidence to show they would have supported you. But let me hear from Kehleboe.
So thank you. How you doing, Mr. Fadiga?
I'm doing great, my brother.
Yes. This is our second time being on the same platform. We interfaced before when you're on FOL.
Yeah.
That was the heat of the campaign.
I know.
So, but I have a few questions. Probably 3 or 4 questions. So I'm sure Tomalin will let me roll here for some time. So my first question, just the last comment you started with the agent involving the Sierra Leonean guy, the Liberian counterpart who was allowed to keep the drugs. What was the name of that guy?
Gongloe. His name was Gongloe. Gongloe is a Sierra Leonean national. I think he's a Sierra Leonean.
But he lives in Liberia.
He lives in Liberia, yeah.
So he's the one, so I call him Liberian. Okay. So he's the one AB allowed him to keep the drug because he was acting according to him as an agent, right?
Yeah. Confidential informer.
Yeah, informer. Okay. So my question is, given what you know, the gravity of that matter, since you guys left the DA and there are new administrator, has that person been arrested? The Gongloe?
That's a good question. Gongloe were arrested. You know, I even though I'm not with the DA, I still get
in relationship with this case because there's an established case.
Gongloe
that was a recommendation.
Has been arrested and released multiple times. He paid money and he has been released multiple times by DA agent. And he's currently he's not. I don't think he's in prison.
Okay. So
I don't think he's in custody.
Prior
to that time, he had been arrested multiple times. Even this year, you were arrested, but you were released by DA agent. He paid his way off.
Yeah. So that establishes his profile right there. I just wanted to clear that out. And the other thing I want to pivot to when you're answering the question from Mr. George, you made a declaration which is very important. And I want to draw your attention to it. You establish here a Medala Copper. They say to you that they knew the truth, but they will hide the truth from President Boubacar. Correct?
I wouldn't say they will hide the truth from President Boubacar, but I think they felt that it was not necessary for it to reach to the president in that form, with hope that we could work things out and be able to work for the situation.
Fadiga, Mr. Fadiga, is essentially the same thing. So what we establish here is, on public record, is Medala Copper is actually disloyal to the presidency. That the issue of drugs, the issue of drug security, is a national security matter. That investigation under a presidential directive is done, and she decided to tell you that they will not tell President Boubacar the truth. It's on record. Do you stand by that? That she did say that to you, that they will not tell the president the truth?
Again, I think her action was in good faith. She did it because she felt that we could work things out, and that's why she felt not necessary.
I hope President Boubacar is listening. Medala Copper is disloyal to the presidency. I hope he's listening. Now, let's get back to the question from past events. You know, security is not you got physical security and you got other type of security, economic, different, whatever. But this security we're talking about, that the kind of security you're involved in, or I should say security sector management, requires credibility. Do you agree with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, when I look at your record, a lot of people, before joining the show, a lot of people, a couple of people I spoke with, and I also follow you and your brother political activities. Some people describe you guys as your political activities now as a grasshopper approach. You jump from party to party. Yeah. So, do you think you have the credibility to be in the security sector management in Liberia, given your lack of direction, your lack of firmness on your political beliefs or what you do? Do you think did you really have the credibility to work in the security sector management?
Yes, and let me tell you why.
Why you think so?
Now, you are confusing my political persuasion with security. It takes a lot to become a security professional. In terms of my experience, I've worked more than 10 years in the US with the United States Department of Justice. I resigned from the Department of Justice as a GS-12. You don't reach to that level if you did not have any credibility. You don't hold certain number of clearance if you don't have credibility. So my political ideology shouldn't be confused with my experience as a security professional. When I went to Liberia as a security professional, I executed my job effectively. I have both the work experience and education. I've been to law enforcement training academy, multiple law enforcement training academy, including the Federal Law Enforcement Training Academy in Garguah, Georgia. I hold a Master of Art degree in forensic psychology and human services, a bachelor degree in police science and security management, and an associate art degree in criminal justice and law enforcement. So I come with a wealth of knowledge in terms of security, and it has nothing to do with my political persuasion or my ideology when it comes to politics.
All right, Fadiga, let me just stop you right there and come in with this. I totally disagree with you. And here is why.
Mm-hmm.
Here in the United States,
Mm-hmm.
between the Democrat and the Republican, we have had FBI director, we have had even people working with different security agencies who have served both Democrat and Republican, because they have established non-partisan credential that they can, it's impeccable. They work with that. If you go to Liberia, there are some people who have been police director or police IG only when Unity Party is in power, and they don't, not the other party. Okay, so we have that. So now,
excuse, can I interject a little bit? Let me correct you in that. When you're speaking in a Liberian context, you have to be mindful. In Liberia, things are done differently, unlike the US. In the US, I would be considered in similar role. Most of these people, like the director for the FBI or the people that you are naming, they do have a political party that they support. They vote. And when you vote, it's a public record. So everybody knows which political party they support. Even though they're not explicit about it, they're not saying anything, they do support
that's a difference.
A political party. Now, in the Liberian context, it's a different thing. Liberia, everything in Liberia is transnational.
No. Does it have to be that all of the time?
I will hope not, but that's the kind of culture we have. It has been normalized.
You are helping to perpetuate that culture by going out there and campaigning and saying the most outrageous things about all the political leaders only in hope that you get a job as a security person. This is why I'm coming after.
That's an erroneous
This is why I'm coming after this credibility issue, because if we go back and bring all and pull some of the videos, some of the statements you made against all of like Cummings and all of you who bring them here. If Cummings were to be president today, will you be? Do you think he can make you to be one of the managers of the security sector?
If he a wise leader would not look at my position when it comes to, let me tell you about Liberia. Every citizen of Liberia has the right to contribute to the political discourse of Liberia. Now, what I want you to be asking me, can you separate your professional life from your political affiliation? I did demonstrate that when I assumed the role as Director General for the Deputy Director General for the Drug Enforcement Agency. I know how to, as a professional, I know how to separate my professional life from my political ideology. And that's why you need to focus on. When you talk about my credibility, I will hope that you will be focusing on, was I corrupt? Did I compromise case? Did I recycle drugs? What did I arrest sedition and I did not arrest UP? I want for you to be able to clarify those things, and then you judge me based on that. Was I professional in my role?
So
you cannot judge me on my political belief.
You can't put words in my mouth, and you can't say what I should say and how I should say it. But hear what I will say. You're talking to somebody who is equally educated just as you are. And it's not about education is one thing, then credibility, character, and patriotism is another thing. You don't go to school for character. You don't go to school for patriotism. So education is one side, okay? You can go there and repeat and memorize things. You get A's and B's and all of it. That's one side. That's just repetition. But I'm talking on this issue on credibility because of the manner in which you and your, I mean, I'm not going to talk about your brother saying he's not here.
Can you point to a specific incident that you could use to judge my credibility? Before you go further, please let me speak to my esteemed sister, my lovely teacher, Sarah. Sarah, how you doing?
I'm not buying a strategic alliance here because she's an avowed sedition.
Oh, I know.
I hope this is not.
What's up?
I know, I'm fine. I'm doing great. Yeah.
Okay, but I see somebody else join us, and I'm going to try to end my questioning on this, so maybe she can come in. When you are speaking, you spoke about the intel that came from the U.S. Embassy. You said you were measured in some of the things you're saying because you are no longer in government. So I have two questions on that. One, as far as the intelligence on drugs issue, who are the bikers and logs and whatever, who are entitled, which offices? I don't want to talk about individual because, which offices in Liberia are entitled to intel from the United States government? Can you say? Because this one is not classified information.
DEA, NSA, even the police. I mean, it depends on what intel and how it's coming.
I said specifically drugs intel.
NSA, the DEA.
And the DEA, the other one. Not the executive marshal?
No.
So
the executive marshal is part of the team, but not necessarily. No, NSA will be the first.
So can you conclude that NSA got such intel on the drug issue from the American embassy because they gave security briefing to the president? So can you safely conclude that the president also is aware of that?
I can speak to that, sir.
So this intel here that you allege came from the U.S. embassy that you saw, but you can't talk about on the NSA and for DA, you saw it. Not AB and not Bauko.
Which intel are you talking about?
You said it was an intel that came.
Yeah. Okay, so I work My role as Bauko is the director for administration. He has no absolutely nothing. His function is strictly administrative.
The reason I'm asking on this Intel thing is Intel seems to be some of the strategy others use to outsmart. Oh, we got an Intel, but you know, a classified thing we can talk. So that's what I'm trying to know, who are qualified to get that, you know, from the American government. Now,
no, let me tell you now. I think I know where you're going, but I'm not, like you said, I will not put words in your mouth. I think you need to probably reword your question, because I think it's a little bit vague, and so it's difficult to answer. I'm not going to sit here and discuss about the NSA.
If I ask you a direct question, you say you can't talk on there. Okay.
No, certain questions I can answer it, and certain questions that I can't answer, I will definitely tell you I can't answer. As far as Intel is concerned, NSA receive Intel, can receive Intel from anybody, and NSA one group that can receive Intel. Even the police can receive Intel. But again, you have to understand, you have to put it in context. You have to look at the role of those agencies and what Intel they receive. Even the police can receive Intel too from our international partner, but it depends on what Intel and what they're looking for. For example, auto theft, you will go to the police. The police will get Intel on auto theft. International terrorism and stuff, the NSA will get it. Drug related, the DA. But remember, we have a National Security Council, so everybody.
Let me end my question on there. So, Fadiga, for the record, can you say for the record that when you had idea, before you left, got an intel from the American government that basically say A.B. Command was somebody under surveillance and they would not deal with him?
That's not an intel. Now, let me clarify that. I said on this platform a few minutes ago that I spoke with our international partner. I spoke with the Americans, the official of the American government, the INL, and they were clear. Like, as long as AB is at the hand of the DA, they will not support the DA. The reason they gave two reasons. His role during the Civil War, his human rights record, and that we're now reporting drugs. This is how it works. The LDA will report monthly to the UNODC, and also it will forward to the INL under the Department of State. All the intel, like all the drugs from the Leeward counties and the drugs from the entire country, the drug that we arrested, the arrest record, the drug, those that were forwarded to the kids, a comprehensive report is sent to the UNODC and the US government.
All right. So, Tomalin, let me make a closing on there. Fadiga,
yes, sir.
Not to challenge your intel or your information from this one is not intel. What the American embassy official said to you that they will not deal with AB and all of you, and from
it's an open secret. Everybody know it. Even so, I don't want to sort of say who or but it's clear. Okay, you can do your research on that.
Yeah, so I'm not. But I want to just say this for the information, because when you talk about his role in the war, in the Civil War, Prince Johnson was chairman of National Security and Defense from 2006 to whatever time, maybe more than 10 years, and he was chairman. And the security sector reform was taking place. The Americans were putting millions and millions of dollars, and he was receiving this information. He was sitting there until the putting on sanction, and nobody can debate about his role in the Civil War. That was never an issue. So I just wanted to point that out to you.
No, it was an issue. It was an issue. The American had an issue with it. It was clear. Now, you ask the people in the Senate, they will tell you.
But you are getting all the you are never removing.
Okay, again tonight we have our guest Hassan Fadiga. Mr. Fadiga is a criminal justice professional with emphasis in forensic psychology, and he also a prior graduate of the Federal Law Enforcement Training of FLETC, one of the premier law enforcement training academies in the world. He has a wealth of experience. Mr. Fadiga, let me just come this quickly Sarah, welcome. Before I bring Sarah,
Thank you so much.
Honestly, I'll be honest with you. Since I'm in social gathering, everybody will tell you this. I believe you meant good for the country. You took that job to really help the drug the drug situation in the country. But I can say this, that it appears that I think you're in the wrong place. And I thought by now you would have come up to take this government to tax. I don't know, because let me tell you, with your I read your background. You are qualified. You are well educated in the issue of criminal justice, and I believe your continued alignment. I'm not trying to tell you to make your political decision, but right now, for the fact that the president fired you, I don't see how possible in the next 4 years he will appoint you again. But he fired you. When the investigation was going on, I wanted to say, I said, look, I think the best thing the president could do, send Fadiga to somewhere else, to the CID or somewhere. When he fired that young man, he had destroyed the man. Because right now, the president put you anywhere that was about, come on, you fired this man, you lost confidence in this man. So you don't have no confidence in this man. What you're appointing him again?
So now let me clarify that first. The president did not fire me.
No, he dismissed you now.
We're released. You're not even dismissed.
But it's still not dismissed. He fired you, okay? Get the situation now. For the fact that the president fired you, I believe that he had all the support you gave to the government, they are destroying you. Because honestly, I believe again, I will say publicly, your intent at the LDA, you meant good for the country. You came to that LDA to change the situation. I heard your interviews. I saw some reports you submitted. I saw reports. You meant good. Now, and it appears this government that you supported a whole lot. You did everything with this government. They're not interested in fighting drugs. Because all just Kehleboe just asked you some of the questions they ask you. The Americans are aware. The Europeans are aware. All the things happening. They're all informed. And the Justice Minister is aware. Minister of State is aware. The Security Advisor, they're all aware. Political Advisor, they're all aware. Senators are all aware. And you tell me that with all that happened, look, I will tell you again, I never thought the person would have fired you. I said what they would do, they will assign Fadiga somewhere else. Either they take AB out, or they keep him there, or they send him somewhere else. But when the president fired you, I said, but then by this time, Fadiga, if really meant good for the country now, you and I know that the government is interested in fighting drugs. Because with all the good things you did, all the good things you recommended, the thing you talk, right now, you see what's happening? So how long will it take you before you realize that you are just your efforts in vain?
Tomalin, my effort is not in vain. Let me tell you, you've been knowing me for long. You've been knowing me. I'm a straight shooter. I'm not afraid of nobody. Look, I'm at a stage in my life that I can survive in another government. I survived in America. I reached to the level. I still go back. I didn't do anything. I can go back to the Fed. My job is still there waiting for me. Anytime I can go back to the Fed and I will start work. You see, being an advocate and working in government is two different things. I realized that over the last few years, and I learned a lot. Let me tell you something. Government, when you are part of government or you form an integral part of a government, is like a susu. As an advocate, I can be vocal, but as a member or part of a government, I have to be measured and restrained. I will tell you this. You ask me that question, I'm going to answer you clearly. Why am I not saying much? I'm not saying much because I have confidence in President Joseph Boyka. I really mean it. I've met so many politicians in my lifetime. I've sat with them. I analyze people for a living. I know people behavior. I know when somebody is genuine when they're speaking. Look, let me tell you. It happened to even the former president and we are and other people. When you are president and you're in leadership position, it's a tricky situation. The people that are around you, what they want for you to hear that why you are here. Now, the onus is upon the president to act independently, and that's probably the difference between the former president and this president. I sat with the president. Prior to coming, I had a few weeks ago, I met with the president. I went to the mansion, me and he talked. I was very clear with him. I'm not coming on social media to talk about. Yeah, I told him, I said we lost the war on drugs. This president is not a president that will become defensive or agitated. I told him it on anything. When me and the president said, I said we have lost the war on drugs. I broke down the statistic. I was clear with him. I said 2 in 1 Liberian in this country, in Liberia, youth is on drug. When you put a percentage to that, we're talking about 20%. When you put a raw figure to that, we're talking about 1.1 billion. The current growth rate in Liberia is 2.2 or 2.5. If everything remains constant in the next 5 to 10 years, if nothing is done about this drug thing, Liberia is doomed. Everything that you work for and that you are working for is going to be overshadowed by the issue of drugs. Every sector in our country has a drug problem. Every county, you go to the fishery, the Fantin town, they're trading drugs for fish. You go on a gold mine, they're trading gold for drugs. Everywhere, drug is so rampant. I'm talking about every dangerous drug known to man. It's in Liberia, is there, the candy. And the president stay at me. He said, wow, can this be reversed? How can we do it? And we talk.
He should not have fired you because you meant. I said you meant good.
I spoke with the president and I looked into his eyes. And I'm not here to patronize. So you know me. I'm a straight shooter. The president is genuine about fighting drug, but again, this drug thing is a very tricky situation. You see some of the high rise in Liberia; those are proceeds from drugs.
Yeah,
drugs. It's something that is very, you gotta be very careful.
Hassan, I listen to you most of the time. I read most of your stuff. Hassan, I repeat again on this record. You mean good to fight drugs. But President Boga is not ready to fight drugs. I mean, right now, I don't know what I come here. I promise you to reappoint you, which will be a problem. That's why I said he should not have fired you. For the fact that he fired you, appointing you again, will be the problem for him. Now,
and I can tell you this much.
At some point in time,
he still has confidence in me.
He has confidence in he should appoint you somewhere else because I thought you, like I said, you meant good for the country. But now tell me now, before Sarah come in now, all the people around the president, they all aware, they all know what's happening. Not President Boga not aware that drug is a problem and some people are involved in the drug issue. So right now, except where you will be reappointed. I don't know. He promised you, but it will come a time. Tell us now. You sure that the next 4 years, if you're not appointed,
okay. Let me tell you. I will tell you this with a degree. With a degree of confidence. The president still has confidence in me. Look, I told somebody, Tomalin.
Yeah.
I have never walked to the president's house and he frowned his face at me. I've never walked any gathering that he said he didn't want to see me. All the officials, he always spoke highly of us, and I know he had it in the red place. Oh, my brother. The government is a tricky situation that you won't understand until you form part of it. It will interest you to know that the president did not see the LDA report.
But Deputy, so you see, Mandela says she will hide the report from the president.
No, it's not another report. I'm talking about the
Mandela should be fired by now. She should be releasing her portfolio.
You focus on Mandela. It's not Mandela. I'm talking about the original report from the June 7 incident that happened. That report was watered down. And I met with the president. We spoke, and people say, "Oh, why you keep backing the president? Why you keep defending the president?" I had a breath fight with the president, and we spoke. And the president told me, and when you're talking with him, he's not a friend. He's the president of the country, and he tell you how you feel. He said, "I felt very disappointed in your behavior at that time when that thing happened. I felt very disappointed." The president said something. What most of you do not know, The president took 5 months for him to make a decision. There was a reason why he waited 5 months. The president wanted to hear my side of the story. He's not one of those that people will carry gossip to, and he listens to the gossip and he acts on it. But again, you have people around the president that have their own agenda, their own interests. I don't know them. I'm not going to speculate, but I know for a fact that there are other people that are pushing their own agenda, and it could be the reason why things the way they are. But I found the president. I'm not going to fault the president. I met with him and I know what he told me. I cannot go in detail to really explain what we discussed, out of respect, but I know the president means well. I know it's going to get bad, but it's going to get better in the future. And that's why I still remain confident in the president, and I'm continuing to support the president.
Can I just repeat? There's a breaking news that Fadiga just stated when Tomalin asked. There are 2 things Fadiga said. He said when he met President Bouaka, he informed President Bouaka that we have lost the war on drugs. True?
Yes.
Did the president shaking his chair?
You are very concerned.
Then second, you said most of the high rise in Liberia are proceeds of drugs.
Some of the high rise.
But you know, I will go back to the video. He said most.
I misspoke. Some of the high rise.
Okay, so can you just give us a little peek into, not all, just even one, and say like this person has come from.
Let me give you an example.
Address, no.
Let me give you an example. I have the picture in my phone of the house. So I went on a search and seizure warrant somewhere in Clarendon. There's a probably 6 or 7 story building in Clarendon. I think it's owned by a Nigerian national. The building is up to roof level, but it's not painted. It's unfinished, totally unfinished. But on the second floor of that building, way in the back, you wouldn't know, but the guy built that place and he completed that side. But you wouldn't know. You're getting just the empty, unfinished building. He finished that place, and in that place, you enter that place, you'll be amazed. 80-inch TV on the wall. On the balcony, in the porch, we have a gold-plated camo. In the bathroom, everything gold-plated. The entire place, you will not even know that that place was finished and somebody is living there. Finished. Everything in that place, gold. In that place, that's the first time since I was born to see pit bull. 2 pit bull is guarding that place. Dusty up area, but I saw 2 pit bull when we went to execute the search and seizure. Somebody I called and gave him the tip on when that he escaped. All the documents, the house documents, everything were there, and he escaped. A huge building, upstairs building. In the building, you can tell that they're gonna be elevator and something. This guy, we found drug paraphernalia there. We found small quantity of drugs and everything there, and then he fled. That could be one example of what I mean. And there's multiple in Liberia.
So do you think some government official could also be, you don't have to be, it doesn't have to be this government, past government, because we have now had 2 kinds of government in Liberia, CDC and Unity Party. So let me just say, do you think that some of the CDC and the Unity Party government official, whether present or past, rise in possession of material wealth could be attributed to drugs?
No doubt. No doubt. But again, it would take high intelligence and investigation to bring it. But look, it's difficult to discuss lab. How long have you been on the Liberia, Mr. Gongloe?
I've actually lived in Liberia throughout. I've been in the US for more than 20 years, but of that 20 years, I spent more than 10 years of that.
That's your coming now.
So it's serious, Campbell. I've been in Liberia for long. And I can tell you this, the security people, your security people, they are one of the major drug peddlers in the country. I say that with a high degree of confidence. Maybe you don't want to go there. I live in the Mount Bagley area. I was instrumental in giving information going from drug ghetto, because I was a victim. Most of the time they would steal from my house, that I even got concerned to sell my house, that why they only target my house to steal. I was going to sell my property and move away.
I don't doubt your intention.
And when these people, when I will go to police station and even try to get police officer, pay them to go there, and they will arrest. And these people will be set. And police commando say, we got call from Central. They say, are they all up person of people? We release them. So,
but you know, Sarah coming, but Fadika, I was saying again, Fadika, I think, like I said again earlier,
Sarah coming, but you're still talking.
You meant well, but again, I don't know, but it's a missed opportunity to let it, for what kind of trained man you are in professional, and let you go like that. It's not fair to the country. But again, Sarah, go ahead. Sarah is all yours.
Anyway, I want to say thank you to our
welcome, Mr. Nagwe. Welcome, Sibiki.
And I also want to say happy Father's Day to all of you, all of our fathers in Liberia, excluding Samuel Jackson. Happy Father's Day to all our fathers in Liberia.
Sure, you sure that man account was not hacked? Because I read what he wrote.
It was not hacked. I don't think so.
Probably can be bored sometimes and just want to vent.
Oh, all right, Father God, thank you for coming on the show to answer the hard questions. I've been listening to you for a little while now. And, you know, you said a lot of things, and I listened to your impressive resume that you explained how you had there, you had that, you qualified for this and that. But my question is, looking at your qualification, and with all of what went on at the LDA, and you guys had a fight and all of that, what do you think? Because I know in my heart of hearts that your qualification is impressive and way more better, I stand to be corrected, than A.B. Kromah.
No doubt.
That's not true?
I say no doubt. I mean, most people don't know that.
So, like I said, I stand to be corrected, but I think your resume is way, because you live in the Western world, you have the experience and all of that, and we need those kind of experiences on the ground in our country to tackle drugs. But why you think the president had to take the decision that he took, even though you guys had a fight, but you are more qualified, in my opinion, why he didn't lean towards you being over there as head of that organization to make it viable for our people, that he had to let the both of you go? Is it because of partisanship, or is it, what do you think was the reason? That's my first question.
I have an inclination on what happened based on my conversation, but I don't think it's necessary for me to reheat that other aspect of my experience in Liberia. Most is an open secret. But I can tell you this. Had I met the president, look, I went to Liberia. I've been out of Liberia, mind you, for more than 20, 25 years. I went to Liberia. I did not understand the culture. There are a lot of things were going on. If I could, looking back in hindsight, if I could do it over, I would have done it differently. I didn't know the politics associated with a lot of things in Liberia. I just felt we're going to conduct an interview. They were going to examine the facts, read a comprehensive report, and decision was going to be made. That's not how it works in Liberia. Until you start to understand the culture, understand the mindset, you wouldn't understand. It would be like, why did the person make that decision? Why didn't they act? Until you assume that role and experience it firsthand before you know. Everything in Liberia is politics driven. Politicians make their decision based on not sometimes not based on principle, but based on the politics at that moment.
So you now believe that some of the propaganda that you guys were running with the CDC government, you understand it from that point, that as a president or as a leader in the country, there are a lot of things that are surrounding certain decisions that are made, for which we on the outside don't understand. You can link that
now, with respect to
because you are one of CDC's real furious critics. So now you understand government. You've been in government now. You understand how things work. Can you also equate that to the CDC government?
To a certain extent, but now let's be clear here. Whenever there's an allegation of corruption or unprofessional conduct, this president, the president has supported, will suspend, fire, conduct an investigation. we cannot say the same for the group that we saw. You see the difference here?
Which investigation has been conducted and finished?
You have the LDA.
No.
You have the local situation.
Is it done?
Well, it's still going on. The fact that he initiated an investigation, it demonstrates that this president is genuinely interested in holding people accountable.
So go back 6 years now. Are you telling us that we had never fired anybody during his government?
You see, I don't want to reheat former president. We are sins for breakfast. He is not the president now because of his performance. So even if I say anything, is that spill milk.
No, but what I'm saying therefore, because you said this president as compared to the previous government, so you're making a comparison. And when you're making a comparison, you have to be factual. There were instances during the Weah government that he did fire people, but you guys were not saying it. Because you want to make this Waka government look like the perfect government. Oh, yeah, he can fire people. Oh, yeah, he can investigate. But we haven't seen any result of any investigation. He fired, he investigated, nothing has been done.
Documented cases, the guy from the insurance corporation, and different other people that have been suspended or fired. Don't have documented cases of the president taking decisions.
All right, let's move on. But I know for a fact that the Weah government also did fire people during his administration. I know that for a fact. But my next question to you is, you are a professional guy. You work in the United States with the federal government. You've done a lot of work, your experience as well. The video that surfaced a couple of months ago that you wish that the former president died, and you wanted something to happen to him and stuff like that. Do you regret that video, or you still stand by your video?
I did not make that video.
Really?
I was not in that video. I was not the one in the video.
Oh, that was your brother?
Again, I was not the one in the video. And in any situation, I wouldn't wish death on any of my enemies, even my worst enemy. But again, I was not in that video. That was not me.
What? That wasn't you?
Remember, we had 2 words in the face. I said it was not me.
That was I saying. So was that okay? If it wasn't you, they will probably be your brother. So that's okay. My final question here is, are you aware that because you know a lot of things are happening in our country with regards to drugs. A lot of drugs were coming in the country. There were propaganda. There were a lot of misinformation and stuff like that. Some people, everything will put on the president here, which of course the buck starts with him. So this Waka government, we're all going to put the same thing on his head because the buck starts with him. Okay? Do you agree? Can you agree that the drugs business in our country, there is no significant, there has been no significant improvement in curtailing it? Number one. Number two, are you aware that are you aware that Waka's son, one of them, they say he has a ghetto? I don't know how factual is that. Are you aware of that? Can you say something to that?
There is no evidence. You see, the thing about Liberia, you've been around for long, you will know that sometimes people will get already just lie, and they will lie with confidence. There is no evidence. There is no evidence whatsoever to suggest that President Waka's son has a ghetto. I did not see it, and I'm being honest with you. Had I seen it, I would have done something about it.
So, do you think you guys have made significant progress in curtailing the drug situation in our country?
No.
Okay. Thank you for your honest answer.
Okay, let's continue. Again, Mr. Fadiga, I will keep on saying it, and I will say again on the record, I think you meant well for the country when you decided to go to serve the country. But you shared something tonight that is very profound. The fact that the government has lost the war on drugs. Do you have confidence in the present management team at the LDA?
They want to say I love God. I say, yeah, still on his side.
That's an interesting question.
Oh, God.
I'll answer it this way. I will not be direct.
Don't no, Fadiga, speak your mind. Don't come do politics here.
I'm not playing politics. I'm not playing.
Your loyalty is supposed to be to your country first before any individual.
I've
So
always
speak your
been to my
mind.
country.
Then don't be afraid. Nobody want to fire you.
The LDA is not doing so well right now. One, they're not getting the necessary support that they're supposed to get to be able to perform their duty effectively. And there are other problems that is going on there right now that they're trying to figure out. The reason I don't want to get into the LDA too much or discuss about the LDA, I'm a former official of that entity. The director, I consider him like my uncle. He's a very fine man, Director Slaw. The guy that assumed my role, we are very, very close. Sebastian, a very good guy. He's a lawyer, very fine gentleman. He means well. But you can only do so much with the level of support that you get. I don't want to delve into, go deep into it because I'm a former official of that era and it's sensitive. The minute I start to see or give my honest opinion about the DA, it becomes politicized. Oh, he was there before, he trying to honor mine, he trying to do this. So I don't want for it to take away those other things, and then the argument, for the argument to shift to something else. So I'm not going to say much about the LDA. The only thing I would tell people, our policy maker need to do more to help the LDA. The LDA, the guys need training, they need logistics, they need so much support. There are some people that ain't so be in the LDA. More than 95% of those guys down there, they are compromised. And the reason they are compromised is because they're not getting support and nobody holding them accountable. And you're paying somebody $90. What you expect the fighting job crime? You expect them to fight? What you expect them to do? They're going and raiding home and seeing 100,000, 200,000, 1 million, 5 million that worth of job, and the people were to compromise them. So they were compromised. So most of them have close ties to drug dealer. Some of them, when they arrest people, they recycle the drug, and sometimes they get paid and they let the people go.
Let me bring Mr. Naba. Fadika, let me make this statement with Mr. Naba coming, right? I'll say the reason why you guys got popular, you and your brother, because you guys were strong advocates for social justice, rule of law, and good governance in Liberia. And I believe that you're still young, you have a far way to go that people can say. You have a great future ahead of you still. But for the fact, the National Security Advisor to the President, the Political Advisor to the President, Chief of Staff to the President, all these people, Justice Minister, they're all aware what happened in the country. You explained to them, you met them one-on-one, you met the Senate, the House, you told them, all people around the President, you told them. And for the fact that you even the point in terms of President, we have lost a war on drugs and nothing has been done. And here you are. My advice to you, brother, as a brother, you got far way to go. Like Sarah said, country first. If you know, it's not too late, but if you know that what's happening is not going the right way, do not allow yourself to get burned. Tomorrow it will come back to haunt you. If you know what's happening is not right, speak your mind, break silence. Say, look, I don't think. You see, our brother stand up. You on your stand up. Stand up, support the government. Everything. When stand up realize they weren't going the right way, stand up, cross lock with them. See what I want to say about stand up, but stand up. What stand up is saying, he's seen it, what's happening, and he cross lock with them. And today, at least, history for watching is about stand up. At least stand up have taken the slack. But when you still hanging around,
let me interject a little.
I don't think you're like.
I supported President Bweka. If I did not have confidence in this president, I wouldn't align myself with him or this government. I tell you, there are more we can do to contribute to Liberia than coming out and criticizing the government and saying the government did. I'm helping.
But you criticized before. You did criticize before.
But this is my government. I support the government. I believe in the president, and I support him. I still believe in him.
Yeah, but don't be anti. Don't be anti.
The president still has confidence in me. So
because you
what,
criticized government before.
I did.
Okay.
I'm not shying away from that. My advocacy is well documented all over the place. I've been a strong critic of former President Weah and other politicians. This government is my government. I help usher this government into power. And it is my duty to ensure that this government works, this government succeeds. And the government is making tremendous gain in the role, in terms of the role connectivity in other aspects of government. When it comes to security, the government is doing her best. When it comes to jobs, yeah, we are struggling. And my role is to continue to speak to the consciousness of our lawmaker and also the presidency for us to do more. And I will continue to champion our cause. And I'm doing it. So I don't have to come on and say President Bweka this or President Bweka this for you to know that I'm doing it. Beyond the scene and privately or publicly, I have been speaking up. Everybody that I can talk to, and I'm not going to give up. I'm going to continue to do it. The president has showed me that they're going to do everything to fight this drug crime, and I believe it.
Mr. Fadiga, now we're here. Happy Father's Day, and happy Father's Day to you all. Happy Father's Day to the audience as well. And Sarah, thank you also for the greetings. Appreciate that. Mr. Fadiga, I'm sorry I'm joining you guys late, and forgive me if I'm asking anything, if I'm raising any issue that has already been addressed. But, I'm listening to you, and I listen to your brother too. I read some of your writings. Every time I listen or I read your writings, I come away feeling like you guys are conflicted. Let me just put it this way. You have a professional ethics to uphold. You are a professional drug rehabilitation expert. You know the country is in trouble. You've been in country. You see our young people in the streets. They've been devoured by this disease. You know the president. You met with him on numerous occasions. He has been in office for over 12 months. He has shown no willingness or ability to tackle the drug problem, and yet you sit here, you're showering him with laurels and praises. How are we to take you seriously? You a professional person. You have a professional ethics to uphold, and our country is bleeding. And you sit here, you're telling us the president is a good president. He means well. The guy who took over from me, Sebastian, is a good guy. He means well. Well, all of these people are failing our young people, and you're happy with this, and you come and sit here, and you're telling us that the president said he will address it. Well, when is he going to do that? He's been in office over 12 months. So please tell me, what gives you the confidence that you're sitting here today and declaring to us? Given the statistics you just gave, I was in the back listening. Over 1 million of our population of 5 million have been consumed by this carnage.
That's a huge gap. That's a huge number.
And this doesn't mean anything to you.
It's increasing every day. It's increasing every day. And
exactly.
Look. It's you may not think I'm not speaking to your tone or the language that probably you want to hear, and so maybe it may appear that I'm not saying anything. But just admitted here that I did speak with the president, and I told him we have lost the war on drugs. It's a testament to my credibility.
But yeah, you support him.
I support him. Now, I support this president because, like I said, I've been with so many politicians. I know Cummings, Mr. Cummings. I know President we're not very close. And I've sat with President Bweka on numerous occasions. As a behavior analyst, I look through that old man's eyes, and I can tell you this. He genuinely means well for Liberia. That's my personal opinion. That's what I saw. Other people might say it's based on partisanship or it's based on interest, but I'm speaking my truth. With respect to the drug, it weighs heavily on my heart. Every day I grieve for Liberia. If you've been following me, you will see every time I post something about drug and I remind the people and warn them. I've sent text messages. I warn people and tell them. I say I don't sleep. What I've seen, you guys are not seeing it. If we don't do something about the drugs thing, we only have 10 years right now. The window that we have is about 10 years. If we don't aggressively address the drug, my brother.
So let me he dropped. Oh, Mr. Fadiga, you there? I'm glad. I'm about to pass you. I think Robert's coming. Well, and I appreciate what you're saying. I know you want to say more. I like that. You tell me in your mind's eye, what in your own view will constitute a serious tackling of the drug problem in our country?
We need to put the right people in the right place. And we need
But
to
you just said Sebastian is in the right place. He's the right person. You said that.
Yeah, Sebastian is Sebastian is good. He's good. He has extensive experience in law enforcement from the police background. He's a lawyer. He approach may be a little bit different, but I don't think he's a bad person. But now, mind you, there are other things that need to be in place for one to be effective.
Like what?
Logistic, training, financial. You're going on. Drug enforcement is largely intelligent driven. You even get money to put people in hotel for them to go. You receive intel that somebody in hotel 309 and that room, there's a Nigerian national or foreign national in that room, and there's a possibility of.
Why you gotta mention 309?
Thank you. Do and drug in there.
Yeah,
you need somebody you want to send intel. Probably get a female agent. You have to book a room, probably 3011 or 30 something to be by that place for the person to make contact. You got to book that room, get somebody to make contact. They're giving you some, add their own thing. We don't even have the money for us to be able to conduct that kind of effective drug enforcement. You can make gains when you don't have the logistical and financial support. And then it will interest you to know that of the 644 employees that are on paper at the DA, only 144 have had basic law enforcement training since DA was established, class 1 and class 2. 144 have had basic law enforcement training. That tells you the kind of organization you're running. Most of the guys, their law enforcement is what they watch on TV.
And yet you're telling us, that the president is serious on drugs.
It didn't start with the president. And if we you see, I'm trying not to get involved in the politics, because if we try to delve deep into the politics, Sarah.
It doesn't have to start with the president, but since he's been in power, what has he done significantly? What has he done significantly to impact, the move to curtail drugs?
When you are the president, you rely on a team to be able to steer you in the right direction. Sometimes you need to look that way.
Well, then we're going nowhere. We're going nowhere.
Come in, I think. Okay, so again, good evening, everybody. So I just want to take this time to, say big congratulations to big brother Tomalin George. His daughter graduated, I think, last Monday, but
yeah.
So
congratulations, sir.
Oh, she graduated from high school, Tomini?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
okay. I was today. You not congratulated me.
We did that on Friday, but
congratulations,
Sylvester, congratulations,
and Dr. Peabody.
And also Pewee, who graduated yesterday. But I've been listening to the show. Sarah, I don't understand. I'm listening to you. You said Fadiga seemed to be more qualified because of a resume that, to read on the show and all of that. And this is not being personal. But you see, this is not how the two Fadigas brother talk. And I agree with Mr. Sanvee when you say they are conflicted. They are always shouting whenever they are talking, if you notice them. They are forceful, and they are very, very passionate when they want to say something about something, especially something that comes from the heart. To see him, the president meanwhile, he still rely that he will be called back to government to serve. This is a deal. He's still hoping that President Bouaka and Unity Party will say, you know what, with all your resume you get, come back, we're giving you XYZ positions. And this is the game. He spoke about, he know Cummings, he know other politicians and all of that. You and your brother supported Cummings, yes. And guess what? You left because you are not getting direct access to Kumis. Your brother or you are on tape criticizing Baka the same way Jeremiah criticized Baka, how Baka is old, he's not capable of doing anything that can transform Liberia. That tape is available. I can't clearly state it on the show, or you or your brother. I don't know. Because two of you.
I listen to that tape myself.
Let me correct you. Let me correct you.
Let me tell the places. I'm driving somewhere, brother. I'm driving somewhere. You know, you guys just spoke about, you know, Joseph Baka so badly, and just because in the last minute you thought, you know, you could come to bring this old man to power and to AB Kroma. And this is why I'm disappointed with Sarah tonight when you try to mention these, you know, Fadiga brothers, you know, about he's more qualified than AB.
That's my opinion, and I stand to be corrected. That's my opinion.
AB been in Liberia for many years. AB never supported any politician publicly. AB never insulted Wea to prove a point to nobody. He never supported any opposition leaders. AB won his private in Liberia. Even in the second round, AB was hired to protect the Unity Party vote. They paid him. And so those guys, they insult people for jobs. They attack people for jobs.
You're assuming no. Now let me interject. No.
Let him learn now. Fadiga, let the brother learn.
You cannot be insinuating again.
Let the brother learn. You can't be Fadiga. Let the brother learn.
But Sidiki, question our time now.
You ask a question. You cannot be assuming things that are on.
Yeah, but ask a question. Yes.
That's a question. I don't want for you to lay the premise because
everybody actually two questions. So, you know, knowing everything we know, this is my first question, brother Fadiga. You know, and this is everybody here watching the show. They know you very well. As I mentioned, this is not how
you ask a question.
So this is my question. This is my question. I'm not insinuating. This is my question. Everything that we know, everything you guys say about AB, the code rule, and now they find you guys, and we hear rumors.
Ask a question.
You have to leave the country. When are you planning to go back to Liberia to face justice? With all the lies and propaganda you put together, you call yourself professional man, you work in an institution, but everything that happened, send it to your brother to have.
I won't have this guy come here and be very disrespectful to me. Can you call him? I'm not answering your question.
Yeah, Sidiki, ask the question and don't attack. Don't go personal.
I'm not going to answer him.
No, but that's my question. When is it going back to Liberia?
I think I know where he's coming from. I think I explained how I came to the state. So you can go back and listen to it. He's speaking nonsense with confidence. I'm not going to.
But you don't want to attack me now. I'm not attacking you, brother.
Yes, you see within.
It's a comment. He said he's not answering my question.
Bravo, can you see something?
Here's my second point.
I'm not going to answer that guy.
I'm the one speaking, brother. You said you can't answer my question. So allow me to make my second point, and then Brother Rabbi will come and ask you a question because you said you can't
answer. Go ahead.
Here is my second point. Liberians, fellow Liberians watching this show, the Fadiga brothers cannot Sarah, you gotta stop laughing. This is very serious. And this is something that is killing Liberia. We can't have hustlers portraying to be advocate. The other brother has a free.
Sidiki.
Yeah,
Sidiki, your choice of words.
You got to protect our guests.
Your choice of words.
You call a hustler.
You can't your choice of words.
Do you know who you're talking to? For you to call me a hustler?
That's all. Leave it.
I'm not talking. I'm not speaking.
I'm not going to listen to you.
Ask a question.
I'm going to do last round.
I'm not allowed to speak. I'm not allowed to speak.
I will not say that for that. To spew nonsense. Only on the space you got to talk to me. We cannot talk anywhere. So
that's because you block me, very intolerant. You criticize other people, but you're not like
You don't even know what you're talking. You call me a hustler. You know who a hustler is.
Robert
Let me-
Coming.
Man,
Let
I
me
offended so much. In
Robert-
terms of
Robert
anything
Coming.
in the spirit, you call me a hustler. Do you know who a hustler
Robert
is?
Coming.
Why
Let
you
me-
said you had a
That's not
26,000
Robert Coming.
company like
Sticky.
in
Let's
the
go to
US?
Robert Coming.
Why you
Okay,
have
okay,
26,000
okay,
in about 3 years job?
Fire for Ra to come in.
I don't want to listen to him. That's why I'm talking. I've been
Let
very
Robert come in. Let Robert
Who's
come in.
Robert Coming?
yeah. So we need infrastructure to have a civil.
So let me say this.
Our Ra will not be worse.
Let me say this. No. Let me say this for the record. And I slightly disagree with my dear brother Siliki. I just want to be very clear, and I think I've been as authentic as ever. I may not disagree with the politics of the Fatigas, but Fatiga is not a hustler, and I think it's a wrong description of the man. I think Fatiga is a professional. He worked all his life in this country. We know exactly what he does, and so Sadiki, I think on this one, I think you are a bit wrong. He's far from a hustler. Now you may argue that this is not his himself. You know, this is not how he discussed the issues, or this is not how he talks. He's very passionate about things. But we understand why he is speaking the way he is speaking. But I don't think Fatiga is a hustler. I think he's a professional, and for what he does, I personally respect him for what he does. Now, and so Fatiga, welcome to the closing argument.
Thank you,
It's
brother.
always great. It's always great interacting with you. And so for those of you who don't know, I think the last time Fatiga and we had a one-on-one fierce debate. I don't know what year was that, Fatiga. It was a while back, and I always enjoy engaging him. But we disagree politically. We disagree. We disagree politically because I think that this is the first time I've seen Fatiga. Allow me, please. The first time I've seen Fatiga in a space where I do have to concur with Mr. Nagbe that he does come across conflicted, right? Because a few things he said. One is when asked about what should we do to fight drugs, and I'm glad that you have made it, Fatiga, that this administration has lost the fight when it comes to the war on drugs. But when asked, what do you think needs to be done? I like what you said, and I think it was profound. What I don't like is the fact that you didn't go further. We need to put the right people in the right place. And to be quite honest with you, my brother, your statement, this particular statement goes beyond Joseph Boaka's administration. I think what has affected us as a country is the fact that we have not put the right people in the right place. I said in Liberia when I did I think that as someone was calling me, I think that you were the best person to lead the LDA. If this was not about politics, if this was not about who knows who, if this was not about whatever, I always said that you were the guy to lead the LDA. I think you were the right guy. We have many challenges. You talk about finances and things like that, but your creativity, your understanding, your expert background in the area, I think, fits you to be the guy to lead the battle on drugs in our country. Unfortunately, politics and the usual came to play, where the right person was put as the head, that the wrong person was put at the head, and the right person was put as deputy. And when you attempted to institute changes, we saw what happened. But you talk about all of the logistical issues, and we don't have money to go to hotels and things like that. But Fatiga, how do you reconcile that with the need and the issues when it comes to drugs epidemic in our country and the lack of resources? Yet the president was able to find thousands of dollars to purchase a new vehicle for himself, even though he said he could take rebar to go to church, to go to work. How do you reconcile that? Do you think that when you look at the arrest agenda and all of the things that are important, do you think Joseph Boaga has kind of lost it a bit when it comes to prioritizing what is important, most especially the war on drugs?
Let me answer. Sorry, let me start first because you said a lot with respect to the vehicle. Now, I am not assigned with the EPS. I will not pretend that I know what goes on in the EPS. They're in charge of the president's security. But I'm speaking from a security context. I had the privilege to drive for the president during the campaign meeting to Kehleboe. We accompanied him to Kehleboe. After the campaign meeting, I was in a convoy and we're driving back to come back to Monrovia. Just before reaching Clay Junction, the main quota, the president's car broke down. The vehicle the president was driving broke down on the way. He had to use only one of the pilot car to come to Monrovia to his house. That poses a serious security risk to the presidency. The president is the head of the nation. He conducts the state of affairs of the country. His security is more important than anything. For me, the vehicle was necessary. You cannot have the president driving a defective vehicle. And obviously, you cannot purchase one vehicle. According to the security protocol, you have to have two similar vehicles as a way to disguise, and protect the president. So purchasing that vehicle, in my opinion, it was necessary. With respect to logistics, I think the government could do more to support the LDA in terms of training, in terms of logistics, in terms of money. But mind you, the lawmaker, our policy maker, equally have a responsibility. And we're not talking about them. They have oversight, responsibility, and they can also help the LDA. Unfortunately, nobody seems to be doing more for the LDA. It breaks my heart, but that's true. I'm sorry that you guys want me. What you guys want to hear, you probably not hearing it from me. But again,
no, look, I'm sorry, Mr. Fadi. I'm really sorry to barge in, but I'm really sitting here fighting hard to maintain my composure. You know, I'm really disappointed. You're a professional guy, but I think you've been blinded by something else. You're telling me the government has no money, but they can spend $500,000 in Buchanan on a retreat when there is no logistics for the DEA. Or they can go to Farmington Hotel and spend $300,000, but there's no logistics to fight drugs. And you still sit here and you're telling me that you have confidence in this president's desire to fight drugs. I'm very disappointed. I'll be honest with you. I think you're talking on both sides, from both sides of your mouth.
No,
and this is very disconcerting to me as a fellow professional. I cannot bring myself, knowing very well that my profession is being betrayed by the president, and I will sit here and still praise and shower laurels on him. I don't understand how you do that.
You see, when you are speaking from afar, you don't see what I see, especially when you are in government. It's easy to critique when you are outside than when you are inside. The president has a team that work along with him for him to perform his duty and function as the president effectively and efficiently. We also have lawmakers that have a role to play in this fight. The fight is not just from the executive; it's also from the judiciary. The legislature also has a role to play in the two. So when I speak,
correct. Let me give you this. I mean, the rescue lawmaker is the president pro tem of the Senate now, right?
Definitely. And we spoke and I can.
And now we have the speaker. I'm sorry to interrupt again. We now have the speaker, even though he just coming. I agree with you. So, but now the president, he pretty much has pretty much all the branches now in his corner. Do you not agree?
I agree.
Okay.
So go ahead, Fadiga. Go ahead, finish. Go ahead.
And the president has just gone probably 16 to 17 months into his presidency. I know people will want to see more. Like myself, I want to see more. And I still have hope that more will be done. I just spoke with the president in Peabody probably 4 or 6 weeks ago since we had our conversation. about that. And I want to give him time to see whether he was telling me, look, it takes certain courage for you to go to the president and tell him, Mr. President, we lost the war on drugs. I think you should give me credit for my credibility. I didn't go into. I didn't to sugarcoat it. And I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding you. I did tell him that we had lost the war on drugs. Now, behind the scene, we are working on ways that we can help. Look, I still talk with the director for operations today at the DEA. Sometimes we call, we discuss about the drug, and I don't have to be in that road to help. Whatever means necessary behind the scene, I will not come here and say I still try to help. If I receive intel, I will call whoever I will call. The other time there was an intel from the local board. I called. I ensure that everything was done properly, and I'm still helping. So I still have confidence in the president. It doesn't mean I'm insensitive to what is going on the ground. I see it every day. I'm with the Zoko. I went there. I saw in firsthand the devastating effect of drug in Liberia. I cried, and I'm not taking it like that, or I'm not trying to sugarcoat it like the other day were talking about. We only cause people for instance. Look, being an advocate and working in government is two different things. You will understand when you start to work in government. There are certain things that even if you want to say, you can just say all like that. So you have to either work from the back door and see. Well, privately, I've been talking. Yeah. Publicly, I've also been speaking up about this.
Listen, I want to ask one question. Everybody been coming into my time, so
go ahead, Robert. I know you.
But listen, and I appreciate your bluntness. I appreciate the fact that you were able to tell the president that publicly. But I will also appreciate, and I do give you credit for that, Fadiga. But I will also appreciate you being able to come out publicly to say these are the ills in this government. Even if seditions did not do that, you're a different person. I would expect you to do the contrary towards seditions, or what you would have expected from seditions. Because the fact of the matter is, we're not only struggling on the war on drugs, and I think the president lost this battle the minute he decided to appoint that guy over you. And I said that to you privately, and I said it publicly as well. But we're also struggling when it comes to job creations. We're also struggling when it comes to rehabilitation, which connects to this whole war on drugs. We're also struggling when it comes to simple leadership. Look at what's happening at the airport. We could have lost the president of Liberia with what happened recently with the private jet. We are struggling in all of these key areas that were frowned upon by professionals who saw the Liberian people that they were sophisticated enough to address all of these small issues that the past administrations could not address. But since we don't have time, I want you to chime in a bit on this whole spectacle that was made with Estela Mattel operation. They said that they were investing over $1 billion on the expansion in Liberia that will create jobs and things. Look, I thought it was an exaggeration, but if you look at the site, I've been looking at that site. How do you invest $1 billion, even if you're investing $500,000? That's a lot of money. How do we make sense? And this government, I saw the president very proud. The executive mansion website spoke about this. The possibility of this investment could create jobs for our people. And this is all, I'm all in for it. But don't you think that we are being played here? Because if you are investing $1 billion in such an investment, won't you think that they will invest at least $100,000 or $200,000 or $300,000 or whatever the amount is on ensuring that the roads leading up to these different sites are good enough, are decent enough? If you look at the site, you still have muddy roads. Cars can barely get to the locations that they're supposed to get to. What are your thoughts on the Estela Mattel $1 billion in investment? And do you think the Liberian government should demand more?
No doubt the Liberian government should demand more. But let me tell you again, I learned a lot over the last few years, I mean, years, 6 months in Liberia. The problem in Liberia, it's not just the presidency. It's deeply rooted in the culture of entitlement, culture of impunity, and people expecting too much. And everything is transactional and interest driven. Look, most people don't love that country. So what happened? If you want to effect change, you have to be tactful in your approach to a situation, especially when you are part of the government. You can criticize, but your criticism should be measured in a way that you will be heard and you will have an impact. If you go in like the advocacy route that we took, they will cancel you. They will cut you off. You're not going to get it. You're not going to make any gains. You're not going to achieve anything. And at the end of the day, you're going to be packed in the corner. So your goal here is to achieve something. Now, my goal here is to help this government that I supported. That's why since our relief, I continue to help in the back. I will tell you this, my brother. You talk about Esther Mental. Look, anytime you see these people doing this thing, there are somebody that is benefiting, some official government, whether this government or past government that is benefiting from those kind of things. These are things that on the surface you will not know, but it's very deep. Very deep. I'll give you an example. As Deputy Director General for Operation, I visited Bay Mountain. The roads at Bay Mountain, last year, I think Bay Mountain, their revenue was about 700 million. The year before, probably 300 million. The roads to Bay Mountain, it's not Kota. I went to Bay Mountain at the checkpoint. I saw our security personnel, the LMP and other people. They stopped me. Mind you, a senior official, director for the DA, I went to assess the area at a concession stand and they stopped me from going on. I had to cause heavy noise there before they called the security manager for Indocom. Our own security was stopping me from entering. He called him and then we exchanged before he escorted me into the place to meet my men in Bay Mountain. When I went to Bay Mountain, if you have been on the U.S. nuclear side or somewhere, you see everything there is like something going. You can't even understand the level of secrecy. I mean, it's just weird. In Liberia, yeah, those things are happening. We have our security protecting those areas and things that are happening. Look, you think those people will be able to operate like that if they did not have backing from some higher up? And this doesn't have to do with this government. This is the normal trend in Liberia. If you go there with that hard charging mindset, trust me, you're not going to achieve anything. They're going to kick you away and they're just going to continue with their life and things they're going to do. So you have to be strategic if you want to affect change in Liberia. So when I'm speaking, it doesn't, right now, there are some people that say the news that I work with the American government and so I shouldn't be trusted in the security era. There are people, in fact, there were times when the things were going on that someone wrote a letter and they fixed my signature to it and said that I wrote the American and the European Union for them not to support the government because of A.B. Koba and something. That's how deep this country is. So if us, those are all in the diaspora, we want to effect change in Liberia, we cannot go there without knowing all attitude. We have to understand the terrain and we have to operate in a measured manner for us to be able to be heard. So when I'm speaking from personal experience, having worked on the ground for a certain length of time. Nobody,
okay,
Mr. coming back to America.
Mr. Fadiga.
I will go back.
The Fadiga, I know during the we administration, you and your brother did something that nobody have done like, bro. You guys went to what China, right? China?
No, Hong Kong.
To check on the Eton and Iboma deal. And you guys came and told the people like, bro, that it was a fake deal, and the government ended up turning that deal down. But now, like so many of the guys I've said here tonight, Robert said, alluded to it. I repeat, you guys got to prominence based on your advocacy. The how people got to know you guys. They call it the Castro brother. You guys were always went after Madam Salih's government, we are government, and so forth. Now, and like Mr. Nagwebade said too, you are highly educated. You have opportunities in America. You can do better in America. But will there come a time in the next few years, if this president, if the thing's still the same, and he doesn't offer you opportunity to work, because I don't believe you do, because by him firing you, he messed it up. So now, will you come to the realization that look, it's about time to break my silence and for the good of the country, I got to tell the president now that I don't think they proceed the right way. Will you be on record tonight and say, well, there will come a time that if things that thing does not change, you will definitely do a 360 and be the same Fadiga that people knew you before?
My comments tonight and everything that I said tonight is for the betterment of Liberia. Having been on the ground, having experienced firsthand the inner workings of government on the ground. If there was anything and I did not have confidence in President Boyka's ability to deliver, I would definitely speak up. Like I said, job is my passion, and I did tell the president, I even sent him text message, remind him. So it's something that I'm passionate of. It's something that I have spoken about. But again, I have formed an integral part of this government, even though I'm not working in government. Look, Tomalin, I still enjoy the confidence of the president. I can walk to the mansion and they will still call me with respect. Now, one day I've been to the executive mansion and any security official in Liberia disrespect me in any way. I've been to the president hall. Now, one day anybody disrespect me in any way, shape, or form. I've met with the president on several occasions at function. Now, one day he look at me funny or his wife look at me funny.
But Hassan, with honestly, right? Liberia needs the best. We need our best. Now, with like the language I was saying tonight, I will keep on saying it. And Sarah even said it. I think you would have been a perfect fit at the drug enforcement agency. But you just said the president has lost the war on drugs, and with things going, it's not going to change. So will you still, on the spot, the country come first? We continue to support something that because you go to the mansion free.
I've been speaking up. The only thing I'm not speaking up as an advocate. I'm speaking as a member or someone that is in line with the government, and I tell them privately and publicly, I have been speaking up. It's not like I'm not speaking up. The only thing I'm not speaking as an advocate, because you're part of government, you're part of a court. So my comments, my attitude, and the way I speak, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different than when I was an advocate. But it doesn't mean I have changed. It doesn't mean I'm not saying it. Look, let me tell you something. In my mind,
so you feel the court now?
You were going to kill me at LDA. Had I been there and the route, the way I was going, somebody could have killed me. They could have killed me. There are a lot of things I don't want to really get into when I start to explain, then you will understand why. The way I was going and the kind of thing I was doing.
But just somebody just said that for the fact that you are hiding information from the public, that means you are not doing good to the country. There are a lot of things Fadiga, that you are hiding from the public. So tomorrow, if things don't go well and you start to break it up, people will say, but then you had a chance to
no. Let me tell you this,
my brother. Honestly, right? Yeah, information that you said the drug issue on drugs. Our children are being affected by the drugs, and a lot of stuff that's happening. The government not doing anything but it, but yet and still because you still enjoy the president's confidence, and you still want to have that access to him. So because of that, but Fadiga, I don't think posterity will be fair to you, though. Posterity will not be kind to you for what you do to the country.
What good will it do me for me to come on in the public space and say, on April 28th, I received intel for this person, and they told me so and so person is a drug dealer, and they did this, and they come and give you detail. Look, remember, I was a senior security official in the government.
Are you still getting paid by the government? You get any stipend from this government right now?
No, nothing. In fact, I was suspended with all pay for 5 months before we were released. I'm not getting no money from the government.
Let me frank though.
Absolutely nothing.
Because you must be having some investment in Liberia, because to be in Liberia just free and not getting no pay and then just to have access to the presidency. I know Liberia is a hard country to live in. It
was tough living in Liberia. In the last 1 year, we all working. I went through tough time. It's because some of us have close ties to America, so I was still receiving proceeds from America. But it's not easy to live. I'm not gonna sit down here and tell you. I went through tough time in Liberia there. Few people help, but it was not easy living in Liberia.
Were you getting unemployment compensation?
No, sir.
Okay, but I'm gonna come here. I know I see Myean here. That tells that the show is about to end. So I got a lot of questions. I don't want to ask those questions. I just want to say a few things. First, I disagree with Robert when he said you are the qualified person for this job, more qualified than A.B. Nkrumah. It's a total different debate. We can have it another time, because I think in the security sector, it's not just education, it's a combination of other skills. So we can debate that. A different show. I gave you a reason why I thought you were conflicted, because of your grasshopping approach to politics, from Cummings to CDC to UP to this, that, to that. I mean, that for me established a credibility question for me in the security sector, because people different governments need to be sure with your credential and experience that you can work for all governments, particularly with the kind of passion you demonstrate, so you're not just going to be there and say you are UP drug enforcement officer. When UP leaves, then you leave with that knowledge. So this is why I have a question on your credibility. But I'd like to put you on records like I've been doing tonight. My role is just to repeat some of the things you said. Earlier on, this is what you said. There were 2 reports. One with the investigation dealing with the suspension. That report never reached the president.
No, this is what happened, right?
No, I'm coming. Let me.
I want to clarify. You asked, let me clarify. So because we're dealing with audience, and probably they might get confused. So there was the unfortunate incident on June 3rd, where you saw on tape, on video, the president convened an investigation. There were 2 things that were being investigated: the incident on June 3rd and the official complaint that we filed against A.B. Nkrumah at the Justice Ministry, where we allege his close tie to drug dealer and some other things that we said. So those are 2 things that were being investigated. And when the investigation was conducted, they asked a question, we adduced evidence that we had in our possession, and they wrote a comprehensive report that was given to the president. Now, with that report, we hope that at that time that the report was going to go to the president, he's going to read it, and he's going to make informed decision based on the report. But brother, anybody that worked with the presidency, not only the Breaker administration and the government, people around the presidency, they got a way of making things disappear and they wanted to disappear, and there's nothing the president can do about it. Not George Weah, not Joseph Breaker, not Eddie Johnson. Every president, they got a way to do it. It seemed not something that happened, anything. I had a conversation with the president, which I don't want to get into because it was a private conversation, setting private conversation, and I know what happened. The report, the president was watered down, and the president only got what the people that he depended on giving.
Yeah, so Fadiga, but earlier on when you came on, you admitted that the report said one report didn't reach the president.
That's the report. I tell you, it was 2 things, but it was a comprehensive report.
Did not reach the president.
The comprehensive report was sent to the president, but it was watered down.
It was watered down. So, so for the record, I want to be clear here. This is a security matter, so that is handled by the National Security Advisor.
But Kehleboe, let me jump in here quickly. You had breakfast with the president. Did you tell him the real content, the result of the report?
Yes. We had a conversation about it.
He said yes. He said
I'm
yes.
sorry.
It was
a good question.
And he said something, and I found solace in the fact that he told me that He waited 5 months to hear my side of the story. The president didn't even know I was in the country. They stopped me from going around the president. Look, let me tell you, the people got a way of doing things in the country, and you wouldn't understand. They got a way of doing things. Look,
yeah, but
you have to hand to understand what I'm talking. The president didn't even know I was in the country. He saw me, he tapped me on the shoulder. He said, "Oh, man, where you been?" He said, "I waited 5 months to hear your side of the story. I was disappointed you didn't come to tell me your side of the story." Everybody was coming to you with different story.
Let me
But one thing I respect the president for, when they told him to take decision, he didn't dare take decision like that. He always has something in the back of his mind or something was not right.
So let me just get you to clarify some things. I know my role is to ask questions. I'm asking a question for the audience to understand certain things. So in your you made some clarification that the report reached the president, but it was a watered down version. Now you are admitting publicly that when you did meet the president finally, you explained your side of the story to him. So that means the accurate version was given to the president.
Yes.
Okay, so now President Baga is aware of the true story from Fediga's perspective. So my question to you, on that report, it's a national security issue. Can you establish for the record it was sent by National Security Advisor Samuel Kofi Woods?
No.
Who handled
the DA investigation was conducted by the Joint Security. So we have teams from the Liberian National Police, we have teams from the Fire Service, the AFL, and the Justice Ministry. So it was that team that investigated and they wrote a comprehensive report and they sent it to the president.
Yeah, but once it's, I know this much, and I think you can agree with me. All security matters going to the president in terms of documentation, communication, it will pass through the National Security Advisor Office because he handles that. If it is on economic issue, the economic advisor will handle that because they will take to the president. The president doesn't handle the document himself personally. The advisors, with appropriate oversight and responsibility, takes that to him or her for discussion. Will you agree with me that in that case it will be Samuel Kofi Woods that will handle it?
I don't want to speculate. I'm just telling you how it was done.
So can
I ask somebody's on the line? One of our panelists want to ask Fadiga a question. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Fadiga, good evening, and good evening to the guys. Happy follow this, every one of you.
Happy Father's Day.
Quick question here, Fadiga. This Anthony. It has been speculated and alleged that over 1,000 men and women in uniform at the LDAA are not on payroll. What can you say to that?
They probably could be more than that. They call them action agents.
Yes, okay. Person told me
action agent. It's true.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I interject for a second, Fadiga? You just said when Gongloe asked the question, you said, and I want to give you the opportunity to probably verify. You said it was alleged that AB was linked to drug dealers. Now, you probably, given the fact that you are a seasoned security expert, you know more than I do, and you know more than a lot of Liberians know. But we know you were not the first person to say that. And so I'm sure you said that with lots of evidences, which I believe, in my opinion, were presented to back what was the accusation. So when you say alleged, this came from you. When you say alleged, are you saying, these things were said without enough evidence to back in court or during the investigation? Could you say alleged? I'm not sure why you use the word alleged.
No, alleged is just the offensive term law enforcement use. He is not being convicted. He hasn't been a subject of an investigation for that. So until the investigation reaches a logical conclusion, alleged
based on what you know, AB is connected to drug dealers in Liberia.
Based on what I know, based on my training and experience, AB Chroma is associated, got some link or association based on everything that I know, based on my professional judgment.
Okay, I just wanted to be clear. Thank you. The next person to come in, because I don't think it's my time yet. I just wanted to pick it back.
Yeah, can I come in? I just wanted to close. So first of all, I've seen the comment section, which is fine. A lot of people disagree. That's okay. I don't know if Brother Fadiga still want to take a question from me or not. If you do, I would like to ask you a question. If not, that's okay.
I don't.
I'll make my concluding statement or closing, to just leave because it's kind of late for my end. But here is what I wanted to say to everybody. I have nothing against Fadiga, whether him or his brother, nothing. And likewise, all the people they've opposed in the past, they've been doing it passionately for a better Liberia. So that's how a young Liberian like Siliki, myself, I'm being passionate about Liberia. I saw you once upon a time, supporter of, comments, shape, which is fine. You shift from comments to Baka, which you and your brother labor as the old man who has no record in Liberia to be a leader. You supported him. At one point, your brother is on record of, threatening or praying for a certain president to die just because of a disagreement. And today, once upon a time, your brother or you say you left a 21K monthly job in the US to come to Liberia to serve your country, and all of those different things. But again, Liberian people, let's look at people keenly. Let's not be, confused, individuals. And when I say this, also a lot of people say, "Oh, you're attacking," but this is not an attack. Many people do this at times. They come to the space and pretend as if to say they are advocate, they are Messiah and savior of the people, and in the back or the intent is just to hustle and get jobs. And this is sad. This is killing Liberia. Today, Fadiga say he get a lot of things, on the government or in the LDA that he said. How can you say you're a professional man, you qualify, working in an organization, but you are sharing private information with your biological brother who is on another talk show every day talking about those information or things that are happening?
Dominic, can the guy just shut up because everything talking is speculation. It's the same backyard gossip that people do in Liberia. He doesn't even know what I share personal information. He's assuming. We don't know what I share.
We got only 25 more minutes. So but Siliki, short left. We got 25 minutes.
You're speculating.
I'm not speculating, brother. We all follow Spoon
Siliki,
TV.
1 second. Siliki, 1 second.
You have proof.
So it's not a question. It's not a question. Just a comment. I wanted to
have nothing to say. That'll get other people.
I've got 25 more minutes. So time.
Fadiga, 1 second.
Can I just make? Can I just?
1 second. 1 second, Siliki. 1 second. 1 second. I'll let you come back. Fadiga, listen. You can't tell the panelists to shut up. And I know that
you're being very disrespectful because if you attack your credibility, it's being very disrespectful. I cannot come on the show and then you have a Kuma trying to attack my credibility. We have a larger audience that is watching this show, and our people, the way they can be gullible sometimes. The next thing the media will say, "Oh, everything he's saying is true," and they're going to believe it. People,
but Fadiga, you know the media more than we do, right? Here is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I disagree with Siliki when he said you were a hustler because I know you. Siliki has his opinion. He should have rights to his opinion.
Yeah, that's a bit tolerant for the guy.
I think he stopped. 1 second, guys. I think he stopped. 1 second.
I'm very tolerant. I have thick skin.
So let him speak, and then we'll give you the opportunity to respond. You already said you won't answer his questions, which is respectable. But he's a panelist here. He's been tough. He's asking uncomfortable questions. Let him speak, and then we'll give you the opportunity, and then you can respond and clarify to the audience. Okay? So Lee, go ahead.
Ask a question.
No. We're not right now. Obi, we're not here.
Let Ebi come back on the show.
Yeah, if you want to ask questions, let him go. Taliki, go ahead, please. Taliki, go ahead, please.
In 2 minutes, I just wanted to
hey, my people, let the man speak. The man on the floor speaking. Taliki, go ahead, please. We don't care about Ebi Kloma.
Now, you see, it's a good thing for him to speak. He has the right to speak respectfully, but also he cannot speculate or assume or insinuate things that he don't have any facts.
Then you will respond to that.
Exactly. Yeah, you have a right to rebut.
You're rebutting, but he's the panelist.
You Fadiga posted the son of Cummings, Baka Cummings, and say all kinds of negative things about him. You have never met this young man before. You not get no evidence about him. Mrs. Cummings had to come on your post. You know, and you say all kinds of things about Abi Kuma. You say how Abi Kuma is dealing with George Diller. You not get evidence. You've never provided any evidence. Abi Kuma told you your brother to court. You had to leave the country. You run away. Right now, as we speak,
you see, if you guys want for me to be on the show, I cannot say for the guy to speak nonsense. There's one thing to talk about, there's another thing to be provoking. They don't leave the kingdom, run away from the kingdom. Who is AB to stop you from leaving the country? Who is AB to stop you from leaving the country?
It's just a fact.
Not
Silly Kuma saying it, brother. The court issue of red of arrest for you and your brother. You could issue a red of arrest.
No, Liberia is a country of law. I'm a Liberian, and there is nobody, absolutely nobody that can run me for
I'm okay, but I just wanted to bring people like you cannot be taken serious.
I don't want to hear him.
Yeah, no,
he's speculating, and
you're not on the show now to say I don't want to hear you.
Let
we got 15 more minutes, so you're
I cannot have that guy through me. You know, everything he's saying is speculation and he's sharing nonsense. It doesn't make sense, and I don't want for him to continue to say that. I know his intention, and I'm not going to give him a satisfaction.
Okay. So, let me ask you this question. Listen, guys.
The question short. That's okay.
Yeah, I know.
But
AB, Sarah, let me ask you one question now, please, man.
You ask your questions. Relax, Sarah.
Hey, know that Father Day, right? We got all the space now.
But listen, AB Gongloe. AB is he's in the media. He's out there. The closing argument is open to everyone. So I may not agree with AB, but he should be brave enough to come on to engage us. I mean, you got Fatiga here, and he's engaging us, right? He asks uncomfortable questions, uncomfortable discussions, but he's able to come on to talk about issues. AB is also extended similar invitation. So if he wants to come on to rebut some of what was said today by our guests, he too has the same opportunity to come on. We shouldn't be paying attention to questions and things like that. I believe, in my opinion, since AB is watching, I believe AB as head of the DEA did not conduct himself accordingly as a leader. A lot of what went public, a lot of what happened would not have happened had AB shown some sort of leadership. And I'm hoping that he can come on. This is an open invitation, AB. He can come on and let's have a respectful conversation on what we want, what our opinions are, and what his thoughts are about Fadiga. Let me say this, Gongloe. When I said that Fadiga is best positioned to serve the DA as leader, I'm saying that because Fadiga, you don't have to like the guy. You don't have to like his politics, and I don't like Fadiga's politics. He will tell you, but I had tremendous respect for his expertise, and this is the reason why Mr. Namwe and all of us are frustrated because he's not in his zone right now, because he's trying to protect a government, because he supports a government. I disagree with him that just because you support a government, just because you help usher government into permanent, somehow means you can't speak up. You can't speak. You can't tell us about the wrong. I think you can be both, because Liberia comes above all else. But let me ask you this last question: if you were to be given an opportunity again, Fatiga, to serve the country in the position as director of the LDA, and the president calls you today, because I gotta be clear with you, Fatiga. The president meaning well, it's not a substitute for ineptitude. A lot of ineptitude, a lot of incompetence has been on display in the last almost 2 years of this administration. They have not moved the needle. And you have admitted to it that you guys have lost the battle on drugs. So if the president calls you right now and says, Fatiga, we dismiss you and AB because of the investigation. We try the current director, and he has not done much to address this battle on drugs. We need your services. Would you agree to serve your country?
I worked more than 9 years in this country. I left a very good job with a very good pension. And everybody thought I was crazy when I made that conscious decision to leave the job with the Fed and return to Liberia to serve. I only had about 8.5 more years, and I made that decision. The premise of that decision was to genuinely offer my support, my expertise to Liberia. So to answer your question, if similar situation present itself, I won't hesitate to make that decision to serve again. I won't hesitate.
Thank you.
Tomalin, what is zooming for?
Thank you.
I think Sarah, right? Sarah is not going anywhere.
Yeah, let me ask my question, ma.
Go ahead, Sarah.
Sarah, throw everything on.
That particular man got to squeeze it small. So
take it.
One squeeze that you be out of you. No, so Fadiga, let me ask you. I really want to know, right? What is? I mean, you and AB went to court. I think he sued you or something, and there was a ruling that you're supposed to pay. You and your brother. I don't know whether it's you or your brother. You rather supposed to pay him $1.something million Liberian dollar for that lawsuit. What is the? And you guys, I think your lawyer appealed, and the appeal was denied. So, what is the way forward for you on this case?
You know, Sarah, you asked a good question. A lot of people don't know this, but while the case were going on, I didn't know anything. I didn't hear anything. We're not even aware. Everything that is said that we refuse court order, we threaten the court official. All those things are news to me. I'm telling you. We live in a country that is inherently corrupt, that people do things and get away with impunity. So the likes of AB, they've been on the ground for long. AB has a foot on the ground. He's very strong. He has friends. He has people that he's heavily connected to. So he was able to manipulate the system for him to be able to go through the court system while we were in Liberia and all the things were going on. We don't know anything. I'm telling you, I was not aware. But again, there's the law, and the truth will eventually come out because there were a lot of procedure error. And my team of lawyers, after we served and after we saw all the things on the media recently, they are on top of it. And I can show you, and I can show the public, the outcome will be different in the future.
Can you tell us exactly what position you play in the feds? What was your actual responsibility in the feds? Because many people have said, you keep saying you work in the feds, it's too broad. Specifically, what did you do in the feds?
So I work as an intelligence analyst. So I started as a drug abuse treatment specialist with the Federal Bureau of Prisons. And then I transitioned to, after I got my 11, I got hired as an intelligence analyst. Now, you can Google the intelligence analyst position, and then you Google it, it will tell you everything. And I became a GS12 prior to resigning. Intelligence analyst, you can Google it. I work as an intelligence analyst.
For how many years?
For more than 4 years. I work as a treatment specialist for about 4 years, and then probably 5 years, 4 years.
So can you still work with the Fed? I mean, you can still work with the Fed.
Yes, the Fed, let me tell you how it works. And that's the reason I resigned. So with the Fed, if you work as a federal law enforcement for more than 3 years, you can resign. And if you got good record, you can resign. And then anytime you can come back and complete your term with the Fed. The only because the cutoff time for federal law enforcement is 37 years old. But if you have served for more than 3 years in the Fed, you can resign, and it doesn't require your age requirement. It's not, you're not going to look at your age requirement. So right now, I can go back to the Fed. The only reason I'm not returning to my job is because I don't have any interest of living in the U.S. I want to go back to Liberia and serve. So I don't want to come back and work, and then if they call me or I go and I have something going on, and then I leave to go back again. So that's the only reason I didn't come back to assume my role. But once you serve in federal government, in law enforcement for more than 3 years, you can resign and come back anytime.
Tomalin, give me 30 seconds. I want to ask you this question since AB is watching. Do you genuinely think that based on your expertise and your background with the feds, do you think that AB was a bit afraid of you? Do you think it would have been different had AB had a deputy director of the LDA who did not come or who did not have similar CV like you did? Do you think he was afraid of you?
It could be because of the trend and pattern in behavior. There's a possibility that he felt maybe a little bit intimidated, or because I said, "Am I you?" Director Coleman made several statement that he worked with a Superior Court of New Jersey as an investigator. We verify it. He has never worked in the U.S. as a law enforcement officer in Jersey or anywhere. And there is no record. You can call the Superior Court. There's no such thing as investigator. And he has never had any basic law enforcement training ever. He said probably the training guy, but he has never. All of us that work in the U.S. that serve in U.S. law enforcement, we have something to show, some memorabilia or something to show. I can tell you, AB Command don't have anything. So, but we live in a country where people that AB can get away with a lot of things. He has the connection from the community. He played rooted. He has a business. He has a lot of friends, powerful friends that are willing to cover up for him and protect him, even when they know that he screwed up and he's doing things. So, to answer your question, I don't know. A lot of people say it, but I'm not in your head to know exactly why. But I think there's some truth to it. George, man, there's some truth to that.
Thank you. Tomalin, back to you.
Fadiga, well, we wanted to get your closing comment. Yeah, your closing comments. Thank you so much for having you, and we appreciate. I know it's a closing argument. Robert was saying to come here is not an easy thing, you know. I mean, everybody, nobody is censored. Everybody got their own mind, speak their own mind. But it was good that you braved the storm. I'm sure. But my thing, I would say, I would just say to you, you got to be known from your advocacy, and I think you're allowing your capital to go through on this government and I don't know. I want to ask you before. Will you one day come out? This government is not proceeding right. Will you one day come out and go? The House Center have flipped on this government now. So I want a strong advocate of this government. And you have to say what you say about standing by getting credit that he recognized the mistake with the government. He very critical now. As a result, class were reorganized because standing by giving the government heat. And I see but still they're not ready now succeeding because what they are doing, they are having a family discussion. Because you can never find for example, right? Mo Ali was considered the best MD for the year. But the president gave a report card on Friday, Mo Ali failed. But the men who were two top of class, then the men failed. And so it tells you that the family thing having. And honestly, I don't think it'll be well. I want to follow up for you. You one day think if things does not change. We one day say, look, I must stand up for my country and I must speak up now. You spoke again, man. You support her. When she flip, you criticize her. President, I think you flirted with them a little bit. When things stood up, you went after them. We're now with Mr. Boyka. Will it happen too?
I've always remained the same. The only thing, my mindset and my politics is a little bit different, so people maybe they get confused as to what we stand for. But I can tell you, nothing has changed. I stood for Liberia when a situation presented itself, or President Weah and Ambassador Boyka at that time. And I made a conscious decision to support Joseph Boyka. Someone keep talking about Cummings. Look, if you have been around for long, especially in the advocacy era and then in the politics, you will understand firsthand what's going on, what is at play. What a lot of people don't know is this. Liberia was at a critical crossroad when George Weah was at the helm of power. I supported Alexander Cummings. They think this guy talk about that I did not have direct access to Cummings. That's why I did not support him. That's not true. And these are the lies that people carry. This is what happened. When I'm supporting an individual or an organization or part of a team, we put everything into it. There's a kid called Romeo. We sent a kid he went to Ghana. He went to ANC headquarters. He took a picture of their grounds were going there. The motorbike rider couldn't carry him there, couldn't even recognize the area. They didn't even know the place. We sent people to Riverside and Grand Gide. In Grand Gide, they have all kind of story about Kumi. The campaign about Kumi was bad. They call him homosexual. They call him all kinds of people. They didn't even want to hear it. In Riverside. Now, Kumi had been on the ground for more than 5 years. The fact that in Riverside, the only two candidates they were talking about were Joseph Brecker and George Weah. It shows that Kobe did not do a good job in the last 5 years. You have Mariah, you have other people. When you talk to them, they know it all. When you tell them, they got it normal and they're doing things. I pay my money. We pay our money. We send people on the ground to do it. You ask Bonafa, ask Mariah. I called them. I said the thing that we see in something. I sent it. Even Toyota. I sent a picture. I said this is the way. Hey, the fact that nobody know Kumi in Bon County at this time in the election, something not right. There's a meeting they had in a stakeholder meeting. We were talking about financing and something. And Kumi said something in that meeting about not having money in the campaign is 6 million and some other thing. Now, the oldest stake in the book in Liberia, if you have 100,000, you make it appear that they get 1 million. No politician will tell you they don't have money in Liberia. The culture is such that if you are truthful, nobody come around you. You have to be able to manipulate and say things. The fact that after all this time, Kumi did not get it, and then some of the people I started seeing in the room, they were not people that have been out of Liberia for more than 30, 40 years. These are the people that were making critical decisions, the people that would I look for long. Like, I call my brother, and it shows our judgment was right. I call my brother, I said, Kumi, he ain't going nowhere. We're wasting our time. Liberia is at a critical crossroad. We cannot afford to risk that we are coming back into power again. So we have to do something. Kumi is not ready for the election. Giving everything that we know. And that's when we decided to make the conscious decision to support Joseph Brecker, or man whom we supported, man, you in 2017 and all through. So what's the idea that people say that I see a failed candidate that I should continue to support him? I love Liberia, and we made the right decision, and now Joseph Brecker
is not a failed candidate. I disagree with you. He's not a failed candidate
of Liberia. So what we need to do, we're riding around Joseph Brecker.
I hope I will respond, but Tomalin, please.
But we cannot sit down like you talk about Staton and bash the government and something. I can criticize the government, but I will do it constructively because I don't want the government to fail. I want this government that I supported to succeed. And I will do everything privately and publicly to ensure that the government succeed.
So, closing comments?
Yeah, but Tomalin, Fatiga, you see how zealous you were just now. You see how energetic you were just now.
Thank you.
You see how you. This is the Fatiga that I know. The guy who is so energetic, who is forceful. But when it comes to Joseph Walker, you're very mellow, relaxed.
The man is confident, you know. I wouldn't come in and talk and be yelling, you know, about.
Thank you, Chief. Mr. Fadiga, let me thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Mr.
I've never met you, but like I said, I read some of your stuff. I listened to some of your stuff. You and your brother. From what I've read and what I've heard about you and what you displayed today, I think you're a professional guy. I think you could have gotten rattled very easily, except for the little thing between you and Siliki. But I think you held your, and that's professionalism. So, and I want to wish you well in your future endeavors. You, from an older brother to a younger brother, I think you have places to go. I just have to caution you, and probably your brother as well. It sounds to me like, and just now I was listening to you, how you switched from Cummings
to Boakai and all of that. I was looking for ideological differences.
You forgot Mr. Ure too. Fadiga, Mr. Ure too, right?
There you go. And I understand. I work for the CPP campaign as well. I understand some of the stuff, but I was looking for some ideological differences that would have led to your separation. But that is what it is. But I want to advise.
No, Kumi don't get me wrong. Kumi is a fine man. Kumi,
I agree with you on that.
It's just that they were not listening, and everything we said, they manifested in a result in the
Okay, thanks for that clarification. Thanks for that clarification. So quickly, let me land. So my little cautionary note, and again, far from being an advisor to you, I think you're pretty capable of advising yourself. But it sounds to me like you are compromised because as a professional person, I can hear you holding fidelity to your profession. You've openly indicated that we've lost the war on drugs. You said that openly. You say you told the president all of that. But you also support a president who doesn't seem to master what is required to tackle the problem. And I know as a professional person, I know your commitment, you want to help our suffering people. You're continuing to prefer this president is enabling a situation that is eating up our citizenry. You said over 1 million people. So I want to caution you. I think you're expending a lot of capital on this. That's a personal choice, but I want you to please, and your brother as well, let us choose our people over whomever is in the executive mansion. If I supported this president and he was doing well, I would say so. But if I felt he wasn't, you should be able to say so. And you said some of it. I'm just kind of confused that you continue to support his policy and you believe he will deliver. Unfortunately, over what 7 months going in, over 1 million people don't have that luxury of waiting for the president to get to that spot where he will decide that this is an emergency, which it really is. So I want you to please, when you are supporting him, just remember the million of people or so who are language. You said it. I don't have. You have the numbers. So, but thank you so much for your time. I really wish you well. I hope somehow you will find a way to be able to help our people. Thank you.
Chairman Sanvee got a message for you. Chairman Sanvee, go ahead.
I thought you didn't want to answer my call. You told me, George. Anyway, happy Father's Day to everyone. Happy Father's Day to my brother Hassan. It's good to see him. We haven't talked in a long time. I guess the temperature was extremely high, so that's why. But let me say this: a couple of things. First of all, I vehemently disagree with all of y'all who try to shut Siddiqui down. I think Siddiqui was asking uncomfortable questions. He wasn't disrespectful. I think he was asking uncomfortable questions. Hassan Fadiga knows how to ask uncomfortable questions. They were running TMC. The common question they used to ask people, that are some of the questions that Siddiqui were asking Hassan Fadiga. So I don't want to state clearly that I think you guys were a little unfair, but you know what? That's the TCA. The TCA, our boxing ring. You got to be able to hold your own. But I want to say something though. Both AB, I believe in my analysis, both AB and Fadiga are great guys, qualified guys. I don't listen. I'm waiting. I haven't seen Fadiga's CV yet. I don't know. I'm waiting to see how people believe that Fadiga is more qualified than AB. I think they're both qualified. They both made some mistakes when they were at the DEA. But so I think at the end of the day, the country got underserved because I really believe if the two of them had figured it out and worked together, we probably would have had an effective and a stronger war on drugs. That's where I want to lean on this issue. But I would not say one person. I know they have the personal issues going on, and hopefully they will try to resolve it. I do want to state, though, and I see Tomalin trying to push Fadiga to say to throw the president under the bus. And I like what Fadiga said. The only thing is that, Fadiga said that he has access. There's something about access. When you have access, you don't want to lose access, right? So he may have a strategy on what he wants to do with his access that he has. Like he just said, he spoke with the president a couple of weeks, right? If he comes guns blazing right now, he may lose that access. The only thing I want to call out is that when other people had access, Fadiga then thought that they were not in the interest of Liberia. So I'm just trying to say we need to graduate from this place because there's something called advocacy, there's something called activism, and then then you get into governance. And I think that's the space Fadiga is in. So I think you guys are being a little unfair to say that Fadiga got throw the government under the bus. This is his government. He made this government. He should be able to stay in there and work with them. And I don't think anything is wrong with that. I think he has graduated from the advocacy stage, right? So I just want to say, Fadiga, I'm sorry I couldn't make the show. My wife told me not to come home. If I just had to sneak in the closet, because she said to the father, I must stay away from Liberian politics. But I was enjoying.
You know now, you didn't listen to her. You're in trouble.
Yeah, my man. Definitely, I can try it. So I just want to say, great conversation. I'm looking forward to him coming back. Maybe we can get, we can get him and AB on the show, and we can try to figure out. But I really believe, and I will end on this note, I really believe Liberia lost. And what do I mean by that? The two of them are two fine gentlemen. The two of them are very qualified. They have passion for what they brought to the table, and I don't think they were just able to get it figured out to work together. Because from my understanding, and maybe Fadiga can answer this, I was told that it was AB who actually recommended Fadiga, right? It was his recommendation. Is that correct? I mean, that was something I heard in the past. I was not in the rescue thing, right? So I just wanted to get that clarity from him. But I thought it was a fascinating conversation. I just thought you gave my small brother Sidiki a lot of heart. And Fadiga, you should have been able to engage Sidiki.
Thank you, Matusha.
When you're running your radio show, you're used to ask more tough and more difficult questions than the way Sidiki
You are not asking questions when you see me waiting and making speculation.
Thank you.
Fadiga, while my brother Ben is getting off the phone, I know my elder brother just advised you. Let me add to his voice, and then after I will call you on the phone again. Do not listen to Ben. Everything Ben just said just now, Ben dropping you. Ben don't agree with you. Ben don't agree with you that you shouldn't throw the president under the bus. Ben don't agree that you are smart at what you're doing. Listen, I know you're being strategic, but when you say you have access, right? It sounds more personal. And the audience are looking at that statement as, I have access. It's about me and my access. It's not about Liberia. And so until I no longer have access, then I will speak up. But by that time, a lot of people who respect you, a lot of people who take you seriously may no longer take you seriously because they will tell you, oh, so it wasn't about Liberia. It wasn't about you speaking truth to power. It was about protecting your access. There's nothing wrong with access. I love access too. But one thing I love my country. And I'm not a politician, so I'm not going to be conventional. I'm not going to sit around because I have access, because I can pick up the phone and call the president, go to the executive mansion, go to his house, and watch my country drown, especially when I have first-hand information on what's happening and I know exactly what's happening. So again, I love you, my brother. We may not agree politically. I stand on my 2 foot when I said that the president made a mistake by making you deputy to EB. I don't care if he recommended you or not. I believe, with everything in me, I believe that we needed some nuances. I believe you had every qualification more than AB to lead that LDA. That doesn't mean AB is not qualified. He doesn't bring something to the table. But I think we needed something different, and I think you had that, and this government missed that, right? But I still would join Tomalin to say, speak up, be who you are, because when you do speak up, people may not agree that you switch out all the time. But what we do agree that you've been speaking up. You spoke up and you left Henry Costa when the June 7 protest didn't go the way you wanted it to go. You spoke up. You guys' relationship, we watched what happened. We saw what happened. And so that's who you are. You spoken up. So continue to speak up. So I will hope that at some point in this administration that you will speak up, you will speak truth to power, you will forget about the access, And you know what? When you speak to the power and they don't want you to have access no more, at least you can go to bed sleeping comfortably that you spoke to the power. And because of that, they took your access away. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you. So, want to call you Hassan into 1 minute. Your closing comment 1 minute, so we can go, please.
So, Tomalin, you can't move that logo from my face.
I don't put it up.
Mr. George, thanks, and the entire panelists, thanks for giving me the audience to speak on critical national issues. I mean, I couldn't have done it on a better platform like the closing argument.
There you go.
Liberia is all we have. For other people, they are looking for something else. Money, fame. For me, I'm looking for a legacy that an unknown Fadiga, which is not a traditional Liberian name, will rise to permanence. That when I walk in Central Monrovia, people look at me and they treat me with respect. I cannot go certain area. I got to conduct myself respectfully all the time because I got people that look up to me. For me, I know my dad is not alive today, but I know he's somewhere looking down and he's proud. Or my mom, she on social media, she reads most of the comments and she be saying it. So I know that we have come a long way when we have done something for ourselves. Education, experience, and even our advocacy when we went to Liberia, it shows in Liberia. And we are proud of what we have become, where we are reached, and nothing can change me from serving Liberia. I made that decision to go to Liberia to serve, and I meant everything in my body that I was going to say. Nothing was going to come. Look, Stanton, there were people, the drug trade has...
No, this is not Stanton. This is not Stanton. This is Tomalin. This is the closing argument, man. Come on now, my brother. You're on national radio. Don't do that to us.
After I collected huge chunk of money and sit down and do whatever I did. The reason I'm still standing tall today among my peers is because I was very firm in my approach. I was very professional in my duty, and I served well. Unfortunately, things happen, and Liberia is not a normal society. You have to live there to understand what I'm talking about. It's difficult to live in Liberia, especially when you have lived out of the country for long to serve in government. There are different things, the way they do things there. It's totally different from the way it is done in a normal society. You have to adapt, and you have to be very careful in the way you go. And that's what I did. And I'm looking forward to serving again in government. Whether it's with the worker administration or any other government, I think I've demonstrated certain level of expertise to the point that someone will look at me and say, this guy is qualified, he needs to serve.
Thank you.
Regarding my jumping from political party to political party, we follow ideology. We don't follow individual. If I support you, it's because I believe your ideology aligns closely with mine. If I see that you are deviating, I'm not going to jump behind you and go down with you. Most people died during the war, especially around, I listen to stories of people around former President Theodore, former President Duo. Most people got killed because they refused to have an independent mind when they saw things going south, and they stuck there and they died today. I'm not that guy. If I see things that are not going the right way, I will advise. I will convene a meeting and advise, like we did to Comey, like we did to Mr. Pewee. When I saw things were not going the right way, I distanced myself from there. I'm not going to sit down. We're not one of those that believe in the party mandate to say if you're part of the organization and things not going right, you can be stuck there. No. So the notion that we don't have a fixed mind is erroneous. Again, thank you for having me. I will be in Liberia. For those of you that think that I ran away from Liberia, is untrue. I came for my daughter. For my age right now, every year you have to come for your annual physical. I've been out of Liberia for a year, 6 months. I need to come for my annual physical to check myself. Health is wealth, and I will be going back probably the next month. The only reason I'm keeping it, I got a couple of tests, and you have to do it after a certain time. You have to run a couple of tests again. So besides that, I will be in Liberia. So thank you
so much.
Thank you guys. Sarah, Me and Sarah, we butt head all the time. But
Yeah, but one advice, then I will give you an advice. Take that advice. Your political capital, do not expend it. You spend your political capital, brother. You have far to go ahead of you. I'm not trying to be a brave news, but that political capital you got, you are using your capital too early. But happy Father's Day. God bless you all.
I will continue to support the government. If the government is going south, we speak beyond.
So why you didn't do your physical in Liberia?
I mean, I got no political capital.
See you guys. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day food.
All right, gentlemen. Take care, man. Raul, take care.